Her peaceful life shattered. Transmigrated and desperate, she must complete the system's trial to return home. The rich lady system. Spend wealth to gain absolute power. Enter our protagonist, Ko So-tran. Once a struggling actress, her career was sabotaged because she refused to sell her soul. Her roommate, 𝑠 stole her spotlight by seducing the assistant director for fame. While the traitor rose to stardom, So-tran was buried under a mountain of staged scandals. Crushed by public malice, she once chose to leave this world behind in total despair. But she's reborn. The original soul's final wish? Absolute vengeance against that snake. 𝑠. System alert. Spend 10 million in 60 minutes. Rule 1. No donations or gifting allowed. Converting that to local currency? It's a staggering 35 billion. So-tran's brain nearly short-circuited. 10 million in 1 hour? So-tran wanted to strangle the system. Are you kidding me? Only the hope of returning home stayed her hand. She had to start spending fast. She summons a director. I'm investing 10 million. He literally chokes on his coffee mid-sip. He expected a beggar, but found a goddess. The poor girl was actually a hidden tycoon. She drags him to the bank instantly. No time for talk, her mission clock is ticking. Later, she crosses paths with 𝑠. Don't hate me, the snake smirks. It's survival. 𝑠 sneers at her silence. Kneel and beg, and maybe I'll find you a maid role. So-tran's gaze is pure ice. With a cold glare, she walks past the trash. 𝑠 scoffs in the wind. Still acting noble? You're nothing but a fallen star now. 1 week later, on set. 𝑠 mocks her again. Why are you here, you failure? So-tran fires back. None of your business. A good dog doesn't block the path. Enraged, 𝑠 swings a hand. But So-tran catches it, slamming the bitch to the ground. The assistant director rushes over. 𝑠 instantly flips the script, sobbing like a victim. She hit me, the man bellows, demanding an apology or he'll call the authorities immediately. Face to face with the threat, So-tran remains calm. Who gave you the courage to bark? She stares him down. Do you realize you're talking to the lead investor of this film? The villains howl with laughter. An investor? You? Stop dreaming and look in a mirror. Just then, the head director arrives. What is this circus? He demands with a frown. The assistant points at So-tran. Kick this lunatic out. She's ruining the entire production. Instead, the director bows deeply to So-tran. The entire set falls into a deathly silence. Miss Ko, was this fool bothering you? The director's voice is filled with terrifying respect. 𝑠 stammers. No, not me, So-tran smirks. Actually, I'm the one causing trouble. The director's tone shifts instantly. Impossible. A misunderstanding. Please, Miss Ko. Don't be offended. He slaps his assistant's head. Meet our savior. She's the biggest investor of this. Reality hits the duo like a lightning strike. So-tran wasn't joking, she owns the show. The assistant director grovels, dragging 𝑠 down. Apologize now, or your career is dead. Through gritted teeth, the green tea queen whispers, Miss Ko, please, it was my mistake. So-tran doesn't even spare a glance. She walks away, leaving the trash in the dust. The girl they once trampled is now a mountain they can never hope to climb. If you want to act again, the assistant warns, you better stay beneath her shadow. Stepping out, So-tran witnesses a scene. A bodyguard is brutalizing a mysterious young man. Reject my lady again, and you'll leave in a wheelchair. The threats are chillingly real. The thugs vanish, leaving the boy broken. He looks up at So-tran, pleading silently. She turns to leave cold as always. But the system suddenly pings with a red alert. Hidden mission. Prevent Toku from blackening. Stop the awakening of the ultimate villain. So-tran groans in annoyance. Tell me sooner next time. The system trembles in fear. So-tran rushed back to the cafe, but Toku had already vanished like a ghost, facing glares full of predatory malice. She knew their next encounter was written in fate. In this world, Toku's divine beauty was a curse, attracting the greed of wicked women. He refused the industry's dark casting couch, leading to a brutal and total career blacklist. Drugged and sold to a predator's bed, the proud idol was being cruelly trampled down. The prodigal system gleefully chimed in, updating So-tran on the target's desperate situation. Toku is currently in hiding. Wait for the perfect moment to play your hand. Nearby, 2 jealous staff members fueled the fire with venomous lies and petty gossip. They whispered that So-tran was just a rich man's toy, buying her way in. She remained cold as ice. These pathetic schemes by 𝑬𝒏𝒻𝒁 were child's play. The director's voice boomed. Get ready, the Imperial Consorts purge. Scene 3. Take action. 𝑳𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔. Shifted instantly. Those who defy my heaven shall face total annihilation. The director stood in awe. A natural-born star. This role was made for her alone. A legendary female general has come to life. Her performance was truly breathtaking and fierce. System alert. New mission. Spend 20,000 in 30 minutes or face the consequences. Only 20,000? The system laughed, thrilled by her growing hunger for spending wealth. Fail this task and the debt doubles. The high-stakes game of gold had begun. 𝑳𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 sprinted through the streets in ancient robes, a vision of otherworldly, lethal beauty. Passersby froze in shock, desperately capturing her divine silhouette on their phones as she passed. She burst into the ice cream shop, her lungs burning as the countdown ticked away. The clerk stuttered a greeting, startled by the sweating goddess standing before her counter. Give me your most expensive ice cream. All 20,000 worth, right now, the system whispered. 30 seconds left. 𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 snapped. Shut your damn mouth, system. The terrified clerk thought the rage was directed at her and froze in absolute fear. 𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 scanned her code with lightning speed. Mission complete. Payment received in full. With the task cleared, she vanished back toward the film set like a silent phantom. The clerk stood paralyzed. Who was that woman? Was this even real life anymore? Back at the set, the jealous clique surrounded 𝑬𝒏𝒻𝒁 with hollow, sugary flattery. 𝑬𝒏𝒻𝒁 played the saint, bringing water while mocking 𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔's sudden disappearance. Maybe she's off meeting her sugar daddy, they sneered with poisoned, arrogant smiles. I just care so much about your hard work, 𝑬𝒏𝒻𝒁 lied with practiced grace. Suddenly, a delivery man shouted, Who ordered 20,000 worth of premium ice cream? The crowd gasped in disbelief. Who has the wealth to throw away such a fortune? Their jaws dropped as 𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 stepped forward to sign the massive legendary bill. She signed with cold indifference while 𝑬𝒏𝒻𝒁's face turned pale with pure envy. Distribute these to everyone, 𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 commanded the very girls who had insulted her. The gossips instantly switched sides, praising 𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔's magnificent and noble heart of gold. Lurking in the shadows, 𝑬𝒏𝒻𝒁's jealousy boiled over as she spotted the dressing room. She crept inside, her eyes landing on 𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔's exquisite, high-ranking female general robes. A wicked grin spread across her face. It was time for a little vengeful sabotage. Inside, the manager arrived to prepare 𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 for the grand imperial banquet scene. Today, you represent the victorious general. The emperor awaits your triumphant, legendary return. 𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 reached for a magazine, her eyes fixed on Tuku's handsome, tragic face. The assistant began her work, unaware of the storm brewing just outside the dressing door. System notification. Attend the upcoming gala. Your mission. Save Tuku from his hell. If the mission fails, everything resets. 𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 ranks cold until a strange scent drifts by. A mysterious aroma fills the air. She asks if the assistant used perfume number 38. The assistant denies it. 𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 senses a scheme. Someone is trying to sabotage her destiny. She immediately inspects the props and her costume. The set is ready for the next scene. The director calls action. 𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 enters as a legendary general to face the emperor. She kneels with perfect grace. The ruler praises her for being a true heroine of war. He commends her battlefield victories for the great Yen Empire. Her aura is truly divine. 𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 remains humble. Suddenly, a servant announces the daughter of the Hung family. She wishes to dance for the court. The emperor grants permission and invites the general to sit. As 𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 moves, 𝒏𝒻𝒁 hides her excitement. She waits for 𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 public humiliation, but the demon princess sees through everything. She whispers a chilling warning into 𝒏𝒻𝒁's ear. Thanks for targeting my dress, but you have already lost. 𝒏𝒻𝒁's face turns pale. 𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 trip the girl instead. As 𝒏𝒻𝒁 falls, the general catches her with mocking pity. Watch your step, little miss. The director watches, thrilled by this unexpected, dramatic tension. An employee tries to point out the script change. The director is far too impressed to care. He hits the staffer with papers. Shut up. This performance is pure cinematic gold. 𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 releases her grip. 𝒏𝒻𝒁 crashes to the floor in front of the cameras. The actors are confused, but the camera keeps rolling. The emperor tries to improvise his lines. Guards, take her away for treatment. The director shouts cut. That was a perfect take. 𝒏𝒻𝒁 is furious and protests immediately. That was not what the script demanded. She tripped me on purpose, but the director is fascinated by 𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔's dominating presence. This version was better than the original. It added a layer of hidden family rivalry. Your early exit was brilliant. 𝑬𝒏𝒕𝒊𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 stands frozen in shock at his biased decision. She refuses to back down. 𝑬𝒏𝒕𝒊𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 corners 𝑠eo-tran to demand a confession. Did you do that on purpose? 𝑠eo-tran looks at her with cold, demonic eyes. What if I did? She yawns and walks away. 𝑬𝒏𝒕𝒊𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 screams for justice. Director, she admitted it. But the director pretends to be deaf to the drama. His assistant plays along. I heard nothing. The director laughs at the clever young man. 𝑬𝒏𝒕𝒊𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 trembles with impotent rage. You are evil, 𝑘𝒂𝒊𝒕𝒊𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔. I will get revenge. Elsewhere, in a quiet apartment, To-koo faces his manager. He is forced to attend a party. I refuse to go, he says firmly. The manager explodes at his stubborn pride. He throws the invitation at To-koo. You have no power and no backing here. In this industry, you are nothing without a sponsor. Stop acting so noble and pure. Without a patron, you are just trash. The manager storms out, leaving him in silence. To-koo stares at the card. Must the weak always be trampled by the strong? The night of the banquet arrives. 𝑠eo-tran scans the crowd, searching for her target. She must find To-koo before it is too late. A man tries to intercept her. Care for a drink? Beautiful? 𝑠eo-tran's gaze is sharper than a cold sword. I am busy. She leaves him stunned. Her system, the king of wealth, alerts her. Found him. To-koo is being held in a private room. The danger is imminent. Inside, the predator 𝑳𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 smiles. She loves breaking those who act noble. To-koo begs her to stop. She just laughs, enjoying his struggle like a game. Drink this entire glass, and you can leave. Her voice is laced with poison. If I drink, will you let me go? The heiress promises, but her eyes lie. To-koo reaches for the wine. He has no idea of the trap ahead. One glass after another. To-koo drinks the poison while 𝑣𝒍𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 watches like a predator stalking its prey. As the wine flows down his neck, her obsession grows. Within moments, the glass is bone dry. To-koo begins to gasp, the potent brew burning through him. 𝑣𝒍𝒂𝒂𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 smirks, calling him a rare, divine treasure. Trembling, he tries to escape her grasp. But after a few steps, his vision blurs and the world spins. His limbs turn to lead, yet his mind feels weightless. He loses all control, his body betraying his very will. 𝑣𝒍𝒂𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 strikes, catching him in her web. She whispers dark promises into To-koo's fading senses. After tonight, you are mine, she sneers. She orders her shadows to drag him to her private chambers. The system panics, screaming for intervention. But 𝑠eo-tran remains a statue of ice, watching the trap unfold. Inside the room, fire courses through To-koo's veins. Driven by the heat, he tears at his clothes in agony. 𝑠eo-tran watches from the shadows, silent and calculating. Should she send him to the hospital or use ice? She decides on a cold remedy. As she enters the bathroom, the boy outside begins to stir. Dazed and desperate, To-koo rises from the bed. He grabs a golf club, a fragile shield against the darkness. He creeps toward the bathroom door, heart hammering. As 𝑠eo-tran steps out, he swings with lethal intent. His eyes are shut tight in terror. But 𝑠eo-tran's reflexes are godlike, catching the blow mid-air. He finally sees her face and trembles. What are you doing to me? He cries out in fear. You attacked me first, she counters coldly. The system begs 𝑠eo-tran to suppress her lethal killing intent. If he dies, your mission fails, the system warns. Suddenly, 𝑠eo-tran pulls him into a firm, protective embrace. The club clatters to the floor as his strength vanishes. To-koo collapses, his face buried against her shoulder. 𝑠eo-tran's gaze turns sharp and serious. She commands her own rising emotions to stay locked away. Meanwhile, 𝑣𝒍𝒂𝒂𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 storms into the bedroom. Her prize has vanished, leaving only an empty bed. Where is he? She roars at her useless subordinates. They stammer in confusion, swear they delivered him there. Find him now, she screams in a murderous rage. No one steals from the great 𝑣𝒍𝒂𝒂𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 and lives. To save him from the poison, 𝑠eo-tran plunges him into ice. The freezing water shocks his system back to life. Too cold, he whimpers, shivers racking his frame. Slowly the fog lifts, and he awakens to reality. He finds himself alone, dressed in fresh clothes. Was it that mysterious girl from yesterday? He wonders. As he emerges, 𝑠eo-tran's voice cuts through the silence. Are you finally awake? She asks with cool indifference. To-koo is stunned. You saved me from the Cao family? Don't you know their power? 𝑠eo-tran scoffs, cornering him against the cold wall. Why should I fear a mere shadow like her? Remember my name, 𝑘𝒂𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔. From this day forward, I am the only one who protects you. The system groans as she forgets her heroine persona. You must act like a saint to win him over. So Tron flashes a gaze filled with sheer killing intent. Memories fade when things are trivial, she retorts. The system instantly cowers under her terrifying pressure. Right. You're absolutely right, mistress, it squeaks. Turning back to Tuku, she demands an answer. Tell me, do you think I'm a good person? A heavy silence hangs in the air between them. Suddenly, a chilling, beautiful smile breaks across Tuku's face. Thank you, Miss Ko, he says softly. So Tran realizes this weak boy has a hidden, darker mask. She tells him to get ready to leave. Tuku lowers his head, hiding eyes filled with deep suspicion. Just another predator, he thinks, only far more dangerous. Outside, the storm arrives in the form of 𝑳𝑬𝑮𝑽𝑛. Seeing them together, 𝑳𝑬𝑮𝑽𝑛's rage hits a breaking point. Stop right there. Did you spend the night with her? Tuku looks at Sotron, his voice steady. Yes, I was with her the entire time. 𝑳𝑬𝑮𝑽𝑛 loses it, her hand flying up for a strike. But Sotran catches her wrist with crushing force. Tuku watches in shock as his new protector stands tall. To strike my person in front of me. Are you tired of living? 𝑳𝑬𝑮𝑽𝑛 sneers. Your person? Do you even know who I am? The tension between the two powerhouses explodes. Sotran doesn't blink, her aura suffocating the air. She flings 𝑳𝑬𝑮𝑽𝑛's hand away like literal trash. The drug you used worked quite well. Sotran mocks. I should thank you. His performance was truly top tier. With a smirk, she claims her territory for all to see. The battle for supreme glory has officially begun. With a mocking smirk, Sotran leaves 𝑳𝑬𝑮𝑽𝑛 behind. Come, Tuku, I'm taking you home. 𝑳𝑬𝑮𝑽𝑛 seethes in the dirt. That wretched woman. I'll uncover every dark secret she hides. 3 days later, at Tuku's place. The legendary manager �ဗ𝒂𝑽𝑽 arrives to discuss destiny. From today, I am your manager, �ဗ𝒂𝑽𝑽 declares. Tuku is stunned by this shift. Why would an elite like you manage someone like me? Tuku asks, sensing a trap. President So invited me personally, �ဗ𝒂𝑽𝑽 admits. Tuku realizes her power is truly terrifying. I've seen your work. You possess a rare divine spark, �ဗ𝒂𝑽𝑽 says with deep conviction. Tuku's sharp mind kicks in. There must be another reason. Why choose me specifically? �ဗ𝒂𝑽𝑽 stares into his eyes. Tell me, Tuku, why do you desire the stage? Tuku trembles as memories of loss surface. It's my dream, my only faith and belief. Then I shall be your wings, �ဗ𝒂𝑽𝑽 smiles. Let's reach the absolute peak together. But my current contract, Tuku worries. The penalty fee is a mountain of gold. President So says you are priceless. Now, will you follow me or fade into nothing? �ဗ𝒂𝑽𝑽 hands him the pen. Tuku hesitates, standing at the crossroads of his fate. If I lose, I'm ruined. But if I win... Tuku feels a surge of ambition. With cold determination, he signs. The contract is sealed. His path to glory begins now. I'll be in your care, Mr. �ဗ𝒂𝑽𝑽. Tuku watches his new ally depart with hope. Here are the keys to your new life, �ဗ𝒂𝑽𝑽 says. Pack up. You move tonight. Tuku stares at the keys. So Tron. She is a mystery deeper than the ocean. Transition to the So Corporation. So Tran strides through the hall with an empress's aura. She's invited to a royal gala. I'm not going, she rejects, her voice like cold steel. Welcome, President So. The board bows in unison, fearing her hidden, demonic bloodline's authority. Sit. The meeting starts now, she commands. A cold wind seems to sweep the room. Tin Duo demands 80 million for Tuku, an assistant reports, trembling before her gaze. The contract is likely a forgery. Tin Duo is walking into a trap set by fate. The system awakens. Main quest. Acquire a company within 10 days. Show your true power. Budget. Unlimited. We have too much gold, sister. Go forth and conquer for our glory. Tin Duo? Sotron's eyes flash with killing intent. She slams the document down hard. Only 80 million? Pathetic. My team exists solely to spend my vast, endless fortune. Acquire Tin Duo in 3 days. No budget limit. I want their total and utter destruction. The room gasps at her arrogance. Did I stutter? Move. The Demon Queen has spoken. Yes, President. Meanwhile, �ဗ𝒂𝑽𝑽 stands before Tin Duo, ready to dismantle their very foundations. He once swore never to work there. Now, he returns as the harbinger of their end. Life is full of ironies. �ဗ𝒂𝑽𝑽 walks in, his presence radiating a chilling new authority. I'm the new management director, �ဗ𝒂𝑽𝑽. The receptionists bow. Unaware of the coming storm, night falls over the city. Tuku lingers on his phone, heart fluttering with strange emotions. Should I thank her? He wonders if Sotran is a guardian or a goddess. He finally sends a thank you. His heart beats fast, fearing her icy, silent response. What does she want from me? He recalls her cold eyes, devoid of any human warmth. Sotran sees the text post-shower. No problem, she replies, short as a winter's day. The system screams in her mind. Sister! You're a social disaster. Show some demonic charm. You should ask if he's eaten. Win his loyalty. Become the savior he truly needs. Being polite won't kill you. You're making it impossible for him to even reply. Sister! Sotran glares at the floating screen. This is your fault for these annoying petty tasks. A new alert flashes red. 3 days until the banquet. Prepare to seize your throne. Our icy queen sat on her throne of wealth, coolly declaring that this star-studded challenge was hers for the taking. To others, this high-stakes show was a dream, but with her endless fortune, she could turn any failure into a masterpiece. With a chillingly calm gaze, she dropped a truth bomb. If you think you have enough money, you simply aren't spending enough. 1 week later, the studio was a sea of fans. 𝑬𝒏𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔, grand stage amazed by the sheer scale of the event. As the crowd roared, 𝑚𝒍𝒏𝒁 leaned in with a shocking secret. A mysterious benefactor had just funded the show's entire future. The news hit like a lightning bolt. 2 whole seasons sponsored up front. 𝑬𝒏𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 couldn't fathom that kind of legendary wealth. Who could possess such power? Suddenly, a luxury engine roared at the red carpet as a mysterious figure prepared to descend. The cameras flashed wildly as the narrator shouted, "Meet our newest star contestant, the one and only, Miss Ko Sotran." 𝒍𝒏𝒁's eyes nearly popped out of her head. Was this a dream? How could that girl be the one behind everything? 𝑬𝒏𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 dropped in disbelief. But before she could speak, movie king Tarchu arrived, radiating an aura of pure stardom. No introduction was needed for the legendary Tarchu. 𝑬𝒏𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 was began swooning, much to 𝒍𝒏𝒁's visible annoyance. "You're scaring me, 𝑬𝒏𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔." But the starstruck girl didn't care. She was mesmerized by the actor's godlike presence. 𝑬𝒏𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 whispered, "Tarchu isn't just an actor, he's the heir to a massive empire with Hwangfi Entertainment backing his every move." 𝒍𝒏𝒁 forced a smile, acting impressed by the revelation, though she clearly had her own hidden agenda. 𝑬𝒏𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 was lost in a romantic fantasy, dreaming of the moment she would share the screen with her idol. She was over the moon, but 𝒍𝒏𝒁 sat in a dark corner, secretly knowing exactly who their powerful king really was. This is my benefactor, 𝒍𝒏𝒁 thought. As the guests took their seats, the air grew heavy with unspoken tension. Tarchu's gaze lingered on Ko Sotran, recognizing her immediately. The stage was set for a fateful reunion. Another luxury car screeched to a halt. Who will be the final guest? The crowd held its breath in pure anticipation. Guess right and win a massive advantage. The mystery guest stepped out, and the stadium exploded into deafening cheers. It was the golden boy To Koo-yu. He arrived with a radiant smile, looking like a literal angel under the spotlights. 𝒍𝒁 felt a strange sense of déjà vu. He looked so familiar. Haven't I seen that face somewhere before? 𝑬𝒏𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 quickly clarified. That's the lead from the smash hit drama. He's the hottest rising star in the industry. Her fangirl heart was torn between 2 gods. Toku is a dream, but Tarchu is a legend. How can I choose? 𝒍𝒁 whispered, "I heard his agency tried to bury his career." 𝑬𝒏𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 looked absolutely horrified by the rumor. Burying a face that beautiful? 𝑬𝒏𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 snapped. Their brains must be filled with trash to waste such talent. The host moved to the main event, the partner selection. As the first winner, Tarchu earned the right to choose first. Every girl held her breath, wondering which lucky lady would be chosen by the legendary movie king. 𝒍𝒁 stood frozen in suspense. Wait, why is he stopping there? Tarchu's gaze shifted, scanning the line of hopeful faces. With a decisive motion, he reached out his hand. His chosen partner was none other than 𝒍𝒁. Next up was the elegant 𝑬𝒏𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔. With a sparkling grin, she turned to the young star Toku. "Will you join my team?" she asked. But Toku hesitated, fearing he would only cause her trouble. 𝑬𝒏𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 insisted, but suddenly a cold hand clamped onto Toku's wrist like an iron shackle. 𝑬𝒏𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 gasped at the sheer audacity. "What are you doing? Can't you see we're already forming a team?" Ko Sotran's voice rang out sharp and absolute. "He belongs to me." Toku's face turned bright crimson. Without a word, Chujang dragged him away, leaving a fuming 𝑬𝒏𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 behind in a cloud of rage. A younger guest quickly stepped in. "Sister Q, let's team up." Seeing his handsome face, she quickly changed her tune. "Fine, let's go." And just like that, the team scrambled into their cars to start the mission. Inside Chujang's car, the silence was heavy. Neither of them spoke a single word as they drove. The cameramen in the back were despairing. With no drama and no talking, how are we supposed to film anything? Does the director hate us? They sighed. Our hopes for a bonus are dying in this silent car. Suddenly, the car sputtered and died. We're out of power, Tokuyu muttered, looking completely defeated. Chujung turned a piercing gaze toward the crew. Was this a setup? They trembled, swearing they knew nothing. They were stranded in the middle of nowhere. No charger, no help, and no way out. But in the midst of the crisis, the spender system flickered, issuing a brand new high-stakes mission for Chujung. Spend 10 million in 30 minutes? Tron was absolutely fuming as the air turned frigid. She wanted to crush this system. Picking the worst time for a game, aren't you, spendthrift? Calm down, boss, her system begged. Cut to brilliant group. Tron arrived with her full crew. Facing the smiling receptionists, Tron didn't waste a single second with her legendary cold aura. 110 million yuan car. Right now, the receptionists froze, staring at each other in total shock. They whispered, "Another streamer chasing clout? Look, she even brought a professional cameraman for her post." Once the keys were hers, she high-fived Tokuo. Her latest update quickly set the internet ablaze. "A gift for years of struggle," she wrote. A new chapter of supreme luxury had finally begun. Fans flooded the comments instantly. "Master Tron's new ride is fire," they cheered in unison. Old friends begged for rides, while haters spat venom. "Just another fake influencer posing for views," the clerk sneered. 2 yuan per photo post, please. Pay up, little social media star. Tokuyu trembled nervously. Tron, we don't need this. Let's just take the bus instead." Tron's gaze turned razor-sharp. "Get your manager." The clerk mocked her arrogant act with a scoff, but when the manager appeared, he bowed low. "Miss Ko, here are the keys to your masterpiece." She grabbed the keys and vanished, leaving the entire showroom staff paralyzed in a respectful bow. As the red beast roared away, the manager turned to his employees with eyes full of fury. "You blind dogs, you're fired," he roared. Their judgmental eyes had just cost them everything. They collapsed, wailing in regret. Meanwhile, Tron's luxury ride dominated the open road like a queen. Inside the cabin, a suffocating silence reigned. Even with cameras rolling, the tension was incredibly thick. "Can we get some action?" the cameraman pleaded. "The viewers crave some unexpected, heart-racing drama." "Unexpected drama?" Tron mused. Beside her, Toku turned bright red, shrinking into his seat. Tron took a deep breath, her eyes flashing with a sudden dangerous confidence. "I understand." She slammed it into sport mode. The engines screamed as they shot forward like a crimson bullet. Toku and the crew turned pale, clinging to their seatbelts as their lives flashed before them. They drifted through corners, stomachs churning. Too much surprise, they screamed internally, nearly losing their lunch. At the filming site, Fungkyo and the director watched the red blur arrive in sheer disbelief. Fungkyo's envy flared instantly. "Why does she get a supercar while we have this junk?" Tran stepped out, cool as ice. "I bought this with my own spare pocket change." "That's cheating," Fungkyo shrieked. Tran didn't even blink, her indifference cutting deeper than any insult. "Show me the rule against owning a car," Tran challenged. Fungkyo's face turned a deep purple. "Young and rich? You must have a sugar daddy," Fungkyo sneered. Tran's gaze sharpened dangerously. "Your words are truly revolting," Tran spat. Nearby, the cameraman finally doubled over and vomited. Toku stifled a laugh while the cameraman groaned. "Just extreme motion sickness, Miss Fung." Night fell over the dorms. A hesitant Tokuyu knocked on Tran's door, heart pounding. She opened the door, eyes heavy with sleep. "What now?" she snapped. "I'm scared," he whispered. Tran's rage flared. "What does your fear have to do with me? Knock again and die." The door slammed shut. Toku hugged his pillow. "Doesn't she want me? Then why support me?" Morning light saw Tokua drenched in sweat, pushing his martial limits on the training grounds. "Take a break, kid," the cameraman suggested. "I can just fix the footage in editing later." Toku shook his head, determined. Meanwhile, Tron was busy soaking up the morning sun. What a twisted pair, the crew thought. She's literally working this poor boy to the bone. Suddenly, a shrill voice cut the peace. "Ko Tran!" Marn marched forward, fuming with rage. Tron tilted her hat. "Problem?" The cameraman grinned, finally. The real demonic drama was starting. "We need to talk. Privately." "Over there," Marn demanded, her arms crossed in a haughty stance. "Not interested," Tron deadpanned. As she walked away, Marn lunged forward to grab her. Marn reached out with fake concern, but Sotron, our reborn queen, instantly recoiled. The White Lotus tumbled, feigning a pathetic injury. Clinging to the ground, Marn wailed in staged agony. Seeing this, Tar-Chu rushed over, his heart bleeding for the manipulative viper. I just wondered how Miss Ko became so wealthy, Marn sobbed, playing the fragile victim. We used to share a cheap room, she hinted at a dark secret, causing Tar-Chu's suspicion to flicker. Around them, the crowd's whispers began to sting like hungry wasps. The atmosphere turned toxic as Fung-Ki watched from the sidelines, goading her friends to join the feast of public humiliation. Despite the warnings of her cautious companions, the drama escalated. Tar-Chu turned his cold gaze towards Sotron, demanding a confession. Sotron merely stood her ground, her aura chilling the air. I didn't touch her, she declared. But Fung-Ki suddenly lunged forward. If it wasn't you, did she trip herself? Fung-Ki shrieked. Marn sighed like a noble martyr. Let it go, she's troubled. Fung-Ki's arrogance flared as she screamed at the crowd. Sudden money doesn't buy class. She's just a fraud looking down on us. Apologize now, and we'll end this, Fung-Ki demanded. But before Sotron could move, Toku stepped out from the shadows. Shielding Sotron like a guardian knight, the young man's voice trembled with conviction. Stop this. She isn't the person you think she is. Sotron stared at Toku's back, surprised by the weak chicken's sudden courage. A rare spark of warmth flickered in her demonic bloodline. She wouldn't hide behind him for long. Stepping forward with razor-sharp elegance, Sotron faced the judgmental pack with a terrifying, icy smile. You all missed your calling in palace dramas, she mocked. Since you've already cast me as the villain, I should play the part. Sotron's movements were a blur of lethal grace. Without a second thought, she delivered a sharp strike that sent Marn flying. The crowd gasped as Marn hit the dirt for real this time. Shocked faces and dropped jaws filled the room like a comedy. Dusting her hands, Sotron looked down at the shivering girl. Now, times was a push. I hate being accused of crimes I haven't committed. Fung-Ki shrieked about injustice, but her voice was cut short. A tall, imposing figure emerged, his presence commanding absolute silence in the hall. Quite the circus you have here, 𝑬𝑏𝒕𝒊𝒅 remarked coolly. He turned to the stunned Toku. Little Toe? It's time for your touch-up. Fung-Ki's friend gasped, eyes wide with terror. Is that 𝑬𝒏𝒕𝒊𝒅, the legendary kingmaker? Why is he working for a nobody like Toku? Fung-Ki stood frozen as she learned the truth. 𝑬𝒏𝒕𝒊𝒅 was the genius who transformed Tar-Chu into a global superstar years ago. Fear gripped the room as they realized Toku's backing was monstrous. Tar-Chu stepped forward, trying to maintain his crumbling dignity before his mentor. Long time no see, 𝑬𝒏𝒕𝒊𝒅, Tar-Chu muttered. The manager's response was cold and sharp. Indeed, Tar-Chu, far too long. Tar-Chu tried to mock him for training a rookie, but 𝑬𝒏𝒕𝒊𝒅's smile was predatory. I only swore off training trash from Huangfei Entertainment. Desperate, Tar-Chu offered 𝑬𝒏𝒕𝒊𝒅 a hoard of resources to return. He thought money could buy back the loyalty he once betrayed. I have no need for your scraps. 𝑬𝒏𝒕𝒊𝒅 dismissed him effortlessly. He turned his back on the film king without a second glance. 𝑬𝒏𝒕𝒊𝒅 then bowed deeply towards Sotron, his voice filled with genuine respect. President Ko, shall we head to the VIP lounge? The title President Ko hit Tar-Chu like a physical blow. He reeled back, wondering when this mysterious girl had conquered the industry's summit. His assistant quickly pulled up the files, hands shaking. Sir, she's the new CEO of Tindir Entertainment. She owns the company. Marn's face turned the color of ash. Fung-Ki stammered. You said she was just your poor roommate. How can she be a CEO? I don't know, Marn stammered, her web of lies disintegrating. The girl they bullied was now the queen of their entire world. 1 week later, at the Tindir headquarters, an assistant entered, trembling as they handed a stack of viral reports to their cold CEO. Your popularity is skyrocketing after the adventure show, President Ko. But some malicious rumors have started spreading across the social networks. Sotron flipped through the documents, her expression darkening with every page. Her demonic blood simmered as she reached a specific headline, The Secret Master Behind the Scenes. The article claimed Sotron was nothing but a plaything for a wealthy, hidden sugar daddy. Who dare suggests I'm being kept? Sotron slammed the desk, the wood splintering under her fury. The insult to her pride was unbearable. This old man in the photo is hideous, she roared. 𝑬𝒏𝒕𝒊𝒅 stepped in, suggesting the scandal was a calculated attack by paid internet trolls. Find them, Sotron commanded, her eyes blazing with murderous intent. To link my name with such low aesthetics is an unforgivable sin, the assistant whispered to 𝑬𝒏𝒊𝒅 about the CEO's strange priorities. 𝑬𝒏𝒊𝒅 simply nodded. In this world, beauty and power were the only laws. Elsewhere, 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒏𝒁 and her entourage strolled into a luxury boutique. They were ready to spend a fortune on the season's finest. 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒏𝒁 spotted a stunning black gown, her eyes gleaming with greed. "This one," she declared, waiting for her friend's inevitable flattery. "It's perfect, 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒏𝒁. Your legendary grace will make this dress iconic," the friend chirped, feeding the ego of the spoiled heiress. 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒏𝒁 demanded her size, but the clerk bowed with a strained smile. "I'm so sorry, but this entire collection has been reserved." Annoyed, she moved to a vibrant blue piece, trying to hide her growing irritation. "And this one? Surely this is available for me." Her friend continued the praise, desperate to stay in 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒏𝒁's favor. "With your figure, you'll look like a goddess in this blue silk." "How exquisite," the clerk chirped. "But this piece is already reserved." 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒏𝒁's face instantly twisted in shock. "Are you mocking my status?" she hissed. The clerk sighed. "Apologies, but our policy strictly forbids selling to you." Fuming, 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒏𝒁 slammed the dress back. "Who owns this place? Do they want to be fired?" Suddenly, a cold voice echoed. "It's me. Any problems?" 𝑘osotran emerged, her presence chilling the entire room. "Just a shopkeeper?" 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒏𝒁 sneered. "I could crush this little business with a single phone call." 𝑘osotran smirked. "It's not just a shop. This entire shopping empire belongs exclusively to me." As 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒏𝒁 stood frozen, 𝒊𝒏𝒈💏 turned to her staff. "Pack every item she touched. Every single one." The clerk hesitated, confused. 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒏𝒁 corrected her. "They aren't for sale. They are a donation. No matter how beautiful, once filth touches it, it's tainted." She stuffed the dresses into bags like garbage. "Are you declaring war on me?" 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒏𝒁 screamed. 𝒊𝒏𝒈💏 merely stared her down with icy disdain. "You started this war the moment you spread those lies about me and that old man. Banning you from my mall is just standard business." 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒏𝒁 played the victim, pretending to be confused. "Feigning ignorance won't save you," 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒏𝒁 whispered. She signaled the guards to remove the trash immediately. "Escort her out. And remember, don't let such filthy pests back inside this building ever again." The guards dragged the woman away. "You'll regret this," she shrieked, her pride shattered in public. A friend nearby quickly backed away. "I barely know her. We aren't close at all." With the pest gone, 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒏𝒁 issued a final order. "Close the doors. Disinfect the entire area immediately." Out on the street, 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒏𝒁 vowed revenge. Meanwhile, at Huangfi Entertainment, a storm was brewing. Their stocks had plummeted 20% overnight. CEO Tar Chu wondered, "Who did the Cao family provoke?" "It's likely 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒏𝒁, his assistant replied, showing footage of the mall incident that went viral. The rumors against her were tracked back to 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒏𝒁. "This is a brutal, calculated counterattack. She's merciless," the assistant warned. "She doesn't just bite back, she destroys families without blinking." Tar Chu frowned. "Check her background. Now." The assistant sighed. "There's almost nothing on her. She's a ghost. All we know is she inherited a massive, ancient fortune from a mysterious clan." "What's our move?" the assistant asked. Tar Chu leaned back. "For now, we watch. Do not engage. Also, Miss 𝑚𝒁𝒁 is auditioning for The Moon in the Water. She won't be coming in." Exhausted, Tar Chu waved her off. "Just give her the script. I have bigger problems to solve." At the Cao residence, a table was smashed in rage. The morning news was a total disaster. 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒏𝒁 pointed fingers wildly. "Father, use your power. Bury these stories before they ruin me." Her father exploded. "Of all the men in the world, you chose a married man who hated you? Do you have a brain in that head?" he roared, his face turning a dangerous shade of red. "He lied to me," she sobbed. "He said he was single." Her father glared at her with pure disappointment. "He's been married 5 years. He has a 2-year-old child. You were played like a fool." 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒏𝒁 turned pale. "It's a trap. We have to find him and clear my name. He's gone." Her father sighed. The moment the interview ended, a black car whisked him into shadows. "It's a conspiracy!" she shrieked. "Someone is pulling the strings from behind the curtains. It's too late. To save what's left, you're going abroad tonight. And you are never coming back." She collapsed to the floor. "No. My life will be over if I leave like this." Her father turned away. "You provoked a monster you couldn't handle. This is the price of your ignorance." It clicked. "𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒏𝒁," she whispered. The demoness had planned this chess match from the start. At home, 𝑘𝒉 sneezed while watering her garden. "Who's talking about me behind my back?" The system chirped, "It must be your good person card thinking of you." She narrowed her eyes. "If I could just kill them, I wouldn't need all this drama," she muttered as her phone rang. It was 𝑣𝒍𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔. "Boss, there's an emergency. Toku has been rushed to the hospital." 𝑣𝒍𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 voice trembled. "I'm so sorry, boss. I failed to protect him. Please, hurry." During filming, a heavy frame collapsed onto his leg. When asked to visit the hospital, 𝑘𝒉 coldly refused. "Let him rest. I have already covered all his medical expenses." She ended the call, leaving 𝑣𝒍𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 utterly baffled. He wondered if his master truly cared for Toku. Was she not supposed to be favoring this rising star? 𝑣𝒍𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 envisioned a dark scenario where 𝑘𝒉 was simply toyed with Toku like a disposable puppy. The prodigal system screamed at her heartlessness. "You missed a perfect chance to earn a good person card, you monster. You should be at the hospital showing tender care. Why are you acting like a cold-blooded beast by refusing?" 𝑘𝒉 blocked her ears from the mechanical nagging. The system was more frantic than an emperor's head eunuch. "Fine, I will go." She finally arrived at room 606 just as the nurse finished the checkup. "Mr. To, your leg is healing perfectly. After 3 more days of rest, you can finally be discharged," the nurse noted. Toku thanked her softly. As the nurses left, they began whispering about the scandalous downfall of 𝑳𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒂𝒉𝒔. "Have you heard? Her true nature was exposed. Forcing herself on a married man. Her reputation is completely ruined now. If I were her, I would flee the country to hide my shame." What a heavy and disgusting taste she had. Toku overheard everything. He realized 𝑳𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒂𝒉𝒔 was finished and would no longer be a threat to him. Did Shuzhong do this for me? But if she cares, why has she not come to see me even once? He scolded his heart for hoping. Suddenly, the door opened as 𝑣𝒍𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 announced the arrival of the cold president. "President Gu is here." Shuzhong stepped inside, her gaze scanning his injuries. "I heard you were hurt during the shoot." Toku's eyes welled with sudden emotion. "I thought you would never come." His puppy-like gaze caught her off guard. Why was he looking at her like an abandoned pet? Shuzhong felt confused by his sudden, heart-wrenching vulnerability. She sat down stiffly. "I came to check your status. If you are injured, it causes me far too much trouble." Toku smiled faintly. "Does this mean you were actually worried about me?" Shuzheng's answer was sharp and immediate. "No." But the system roared for her to be kind. "Fine. I was worried. I will take care of you." Her words were robotic. Toku saw through the act, realizing his heart was likely overthinking her cold intentions again. Reaching for water, he hesitated. Shuzhong snatched the glass, her movement swift and direct, startling the young man. "You are the patient, let me help." This sudden shift in her demeanor left Toku's mind spinning in confusion. She flashed a forced, artificial smile. "See? I am helping you drink. Don't I seem like a very good person?" Toku stared blankly at her strange behavior. Shuzhong sighed. "Never mind, you do not need to answer that now." The air turned thick with awkward tension. Toku suddenly remembered to thank her for the 𝑳𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒉𝒔 matter. "She crossed me, it had nothing to do with you." Shuzhong brushed it off, standing up to leave abruptly. "Rest well." She vanished as quickly as she arrived, leaving Toku alone with a heavy, lingering sigh. Does she truly feel nothing for me? 3 days later, Toku was discharged and returned to his home office. He opened his laptop and gasped. The Star Challenge show was trending everywhere because of the mysterious 𝑘𝒉. Driven by irresistible curiosity, he clicked the video. Every comment was focused on their undeniable and electric chemistry. Shuzhong's voice echoed through the speakers, gently scolding him for being messy. The intimacy felt like a hidden dream. Seeing the fans ship them as a legendary couple made his face burn red. Was this how the world saw them? Why did a simple video make his heart race like a drum? He tried to blame the program's dramatic editing. 𝑣𝒍𝒂𝒂𝒉𝒔 walked in, busy on a call. "Yes, Director Ma, Toku's popularity is skyrocketing. We are reviewing offers. He is still a rookie, so we must be careful. I will consult him and get back to you soon." Hanging up, 𝑣𝒍𝒂𝒂𝒉𝒔 smiled. "The latest episode is a massive hit. Everyone in the industry wants to work with you. The world is at your feet. Do you want to join variety shows or focus on a new film role?" Without a second of hesitation, Toku chose his path. "I want to act. I want a real movie role." 𝑣𝒍𝒂𝒂𝒉𝒔 nodded, but Toku looked troubled. "Will the rumors about me and President Gu cause her any trouble?" 𝑣𝒍𝒂𝒂𝒉𝒔 was stunned by the question. It was clear now Tokua was completely submerged in Xu influence. She hasn't said a word against it, Buivor reassured him, hiding a knowing smirk about Xu master plan. In the shadows, the strings of fate were being pulled. The director's voice boomed across the studio, signaling the start of a brand new chapter in their destiny. Recess begins. Tokuyu broods over their viral romance. Why is she so indifferent? No reaction from her. A girl offers a drink. Want some? He accepts politely. He's so precious. The girl swoons internally. Buivor interrupts the moment. Toku, Ko Tong is waiting outside. His eyes ignite with joy. I'm coming. He sprints toward his destiny. She finally came for me. He abandons his drink and runs. On the set, Ko So-tron commands coldly. Get in the car. Inside the obsidian luxury. Ko Tong, where are we headed? She reveals 2 golden invites. An auction. You are coming with me. He obeys. She hands him a coffee. Drink? He freezes in shock. Traumatic memories resurface. The memory of being drugged by 𝑳𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒒. Vigilance rises. Is this another beautiful trap? He hesitates, heart racing. Silence fills the car. Don't drink it then, she snaps icily. He can't fail her. He snatches the cup and gulps. I love it. Ko So-tron stares in pure disbelief. Like water? I won't waste this chance. They finally arrive at the grand venue. She descends like a goddess, radiating pure, cold, aristocratic power. He stumbles behind her. But her hands are lightning fast. She catches him. Be careful. His face flushes. The proximity is electrifying. A serpent lurks in the shadows. A hidden camera captures their intimacy. What a juicy scoop. The photographer sneers, clicking away, inside the vulture's nest. Long time no see, Tartong. Tartong smiles at her. But Lu Mern glares with venom. A sycophant grovels for profit. About our last deal, sir. He stumbles, colliding with Tokuyu. His fawning mask instantly shatters. Watch where you're going, brat. He strikes Toku's shoulder in rage. Get lost. Suddenly, an icy shadow looms over him. Ko So-tron shields him. Apologize to him, she demands coldly. Apologize? Move aside. Tartong has arrived, he scoffs. I don't see anyone. Her retort leaves him speechless with fury. Arrogant woman! Suddenly Tartong greets her with deep respect. Ko Tong, shall we go in? The bully's heart stops in terror. We aren't close. She takes Toku's hand and walks away. He realizes his fatal mistake. Ko Tong, please. I was blind. In the hall, staff bows low. Your bidding paddle. Ko Tong. The crowd begins to hiss. Is that the scandalous Ko So-tron? I heard she's a kept woman, a toy for the elite. She smiles at her favorite number, ignoring the poisonous whispers. Look at Toku, are they really dating? Tokuyu hears the rumors. He quickly checks his phone. Ko Tong, we were caught. The internet is exploding with our scandal. Should I issue a statement to clarify? He looks at her anxiously. Why bother? Let them feast on their gossip. They'll forget soon. Does she feel the same way? His heart swells with secret hope. The auction is starting. Bid on whatever you desire. The auction roars to life. The crown jewel, Heart of the Sea, finally takes center stage. So-tron bids 30 million instantly. Mern sneers, plotting to crush this fallen heiress forever. Think you're still a queen? I'll make sure you crawl home in utter disgrace tonight. Mern counters at 32. So-tron fires back 40 million. The air turns electric with tension. Toku whispers a warning. She's baiting you. So-tron's gaze remains cold and unyielding. Suddenly, a blinding aura of dominance erupts from So-tron. She isn't playing, she's owning the board. I have the gold. Why fear a fly? Toku is shaken by her mountain, like resolve. Mern pushes to 45 million. She wants So-tron to drown in debt and lose everything. 50 million, So-tron's voice rings out. The hammer is poised. Any higher? The auctioneer screams. The room gasps in disbelief. Is she insane? 50 million for one stone is pure madness. Why did Mern stop? Can't she handle the heat? The crowd's hunger for drama is insatiable. 50 million twice. Driven by the crowd's whispers, Mern finally takes the bait. 60 million. Her benefactor pales. This isn't a bid anymore, it's financial suicide. The auctioneer is ecstatic. 60 million. Any more? Mern turns to gloat, but So-tron stays silent. Panic claws at Mern's heart. Going twice. This wasn't the plan. Why isn't she bidding? Sold for 60 million. Mern's world shatters. Selling her soul won't cover this debt. The gavel sounds like a death knell. Tartong explodes in fury and storms out. Wait, I can explain. Mern chases him, her desperation echoing through the silent room. A sharp slap silences her. I told you to raise the price, not ruin me. Sotron glides by, a goddess of fate. Too much heat for you, Mr. Tar? She muses. Mern's eyes burn with venom. You did this. You set me up to fail. Sotran scoffs. Ruining you over a $60 million pebble? I'm far too busy for that. She reveals the Eye of Creation, a $200 million relic. Its light blinds the room. I have vaults full of these, she yawns, tossing the treasure to Tokuyu like trash. Take it as a reward. Toku stands frozen, holding a literal fortune in his hands. Later that night, the air grows heavy with questions. Why are you so good to me? What do you want? Sotron stays silent as the system whispers warnings in her mind. I just want you to see. I'm the good guy here. Toku's heart finally stirs. A good guy? Your dangerous side is what's truly stealing my heart. Suddenly, he leans in, closing the distance. The world stops as he claims her lips. Sotron freezes. The devil girl is completely defenseless against his sudden, feverish kiss. She finally pushes him away, her face flushed with a heat no battle could cause. Boss, you're hurting me, he nimbly teases. She stammers an apology, her pulse racing wildly. Good night, boss. He disappears into the dark, leaving her in a daze of confusion. Both are left reeling. I kissed her. Did he just steal a kiss from me? Back in his room, Toku can't stop smiling. I scared her, but it was worth it. He immediately calls to find her schedule. I need to know her every move. I want to repay her, he lies. The hunt for the queen has officially begun. Morning arrives at the villa. Sotron relaxes as the system barks new, ruthless orders. Mission: dominate the movie industry. Become the sole investor of Moonlight Mirror. Sotran's eyes sharpen like blades. The film Mern tried to steal from me? The system confirms the target. A predatory smile plays on Sotron's lips. She wants to be a star? I'll buy the sky and turn off the lights. The stage is set for a total takeover. No one escapes the demon girl's wrath. The rise to supreme glory begins now. Watch as the world bows to Sotron. With endless funds in hand, I'll buy the whole production. The spendthrift system awakens my reign begins now. Flattery? That's child's play for a queen like me. Time to crush that nuisance and reclaim my throne. Tin Dieu Entertainment, 18th floor. I've returned to seize the glory that was stolen from me. Prepare the takeover immediately, I commanded. Suddenly, a familiar presence appeared within the elevator. It was Toku. What was he doing here? I wanted to thank you for saving me. Dinner? I refused instantly, remembering last night's chaos. But he leaned in close, his gaze sharp and piercing. Aren't you supposed to be a good person, CEO? If you refuse, how can I believe in your kindness? His strange aura left me completely stunned. Has this weakling developed a split personality or something? The system roared in my mind. Accept it. Don't let those good person points slip away. Little demon. Destiny was waving its hand, forcing my move. I sighed, and finally surrendered to Toku's request. Fine, but wait until my meeting is finished. I'm free all day, he smiled. I won't interfere. I'll wait in the shadows until you're done. Whatever. The high-stakes meeting was finally reaching its end. The acquisition was finalized. Victory was mine. Outside, the hunter was still patiently waiting for his prey. Toku sat there, killing time on his phone. A masterpiece of beauty sitting in a dull hallway. He was a living statue, drawing every female eye. Whispers of "Who is that god?" filled the entire office. He must be waiting for the CEO, they gossiped. I stepped out, the atmosphere instantly turning cold and heavy. Back to work. I barked at the loitering staff. Toku stood up, offering a soft, apologetic smile. I didn't want to miss my chance, he whispered. Since when did this brat become so manipulative and charming? He was playing the pitiful kitten role to perfection. Enough. Let's go. Weren't you treating me to dinner? The staff squealed. They're definitely a couple. We left together, heading toward a nearby roadside restaurant. His divine presence turned the humble diner into a stage. Every customer froze, captivated by his overwhelming aura. Even the waitress was starstruck by our arrival. Is that the goddess Sotron and the legendary Toku? A heavenly match in the flesh. My heart can't take it. The fans' eyes were practically bleeding sugar at the sight. I ordered a premium meal, becoming the center of envy. But Toku's eyes flashed with a hint of anxiety. Within seconds, our faces were trending across the globe. The internet was exploding with rumors of our secret date. My manager's frantic call shattered the brief peace. The restaurant is surrounded. The paparazzi have formed a blockade. The front entrance had become a literal war zone. If you walk out there, it'll be a total catastrophe. Escape through the back door, the manager urged. A getaway car is waiting in the shadows for you. 𝑳𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 looked like a frightened deer in headlights. What's happening, CEO? He asked, his voice trembling slightly. Stop eating. We're moving now. I grabbed his hand, my hidden bloodline surging with adrenaline. Where are we going? He gasped as I pulled him. Less talking, more running. The wolves are at the door. A tidal wave of fans was crashing against the gates. For our safety, we had to vanish into the night. The black sedan was waiting, its engine idling. But a reporter's sharp lens caught our trail. The goddess is here, the man screamed out. Get in the car, 𝒂𝒂𝒄, before the horde arrives. We bolted just as the hungry crowd reached us. I leaned back in the seat, exhaling a long sigh. A simple meal had turned into a high-stakes battlefield. Our fame is a double-edged sword, 𝒂𝒂𝒄 whispered. I realized I was still gripping his hand tightly. I pulled away quickly, my heart racing for no reason. They'll find my home next, he said softly. CEO, could you take me in just for tonight? My eyes widened in absolute shock at his words. Stay at my place? Have you lost your mind? Won't a good person help a soul in need? He put on his most devastatingly pitiful puppy dog face. He was scheming, using his charm like a lethal weapon. A trap from this little fox that I couldn't escape. Fine. My villa is the only safe place left. But you'd better behave yourself under my roof. We soon arrived at my billion-dollar private sanctuary. His eyes reflected the cold luxury of the demon's lair. Do you really live here all alone? He asked. Doesn't it feel lonely in such a massive palace? I'm used to the cold, I replied, masking my heart. Second floor. Pick a room. Get some rest. Thunder shook the heavens. 𝒂𝒂𝒄 crept into 𝑳𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒅𝒐𝒎, clutching his pillow like a frightened child. Startled by the shadow, 𝒊𝒏𝒈 flicked the lights on. Why are you here? It is the dead of night. Are you trying to kill me with fright? 𝒂𝒂𝒄 played his usual card, begging to stay by her side. 𝒊𝒏𝒈 froze in shock. 𝒂𝒂𝒄 began weaving a tragic tale of a father consumed by wine and rage. He recalled his mother, battered and bruised, shielding him from the monster's blows while he wept in her arms. She pleaded for mercy, begging the man to strike her instead of their innocent child, the young 𝒂𝒂𝒄. The beast only roared, claiming he owned their lives since he provided the bread for their pathetic, miserable table. They fled, but hope was fleeting. Even his mother eventually chose to cast him aside in a dark alley. She shoved coins into his tiny palms, whispering lies about returning soon, before vanishing into the shadows of fate. Eat if you are hungry, she said, leaving him to wither in the cold. The boy waited until dawn broke. Sobbing alone, 𝒂𝒂𝒄 realized his solitude. The fear of being discarded again became a demon in his soul. Seeing his pain, 𝒊𝒏𝒈 reached out, pulling him back from the abyss of those haunting, agonizing childhood memories. He gasped, gripping her hand with desperation. Please, he whispered, don't cast me out like the others did before. Moved by his vulnerability, she stroked his hair gently. I won't leave you, she promised with newfound warmth. She was surprised by how soft his locks felt, a soothing texture amidst the chaos of the raging storm outside. Suddenly, thunder cracked. 𝒂𝒂𝒄 lunged for her in terror, sending them both tumbling onto the cold, hard floor. His heavy frame pinned her down. Is this little devil doing this on purpose? She wondered. Her heart racing fast. Fine. Stay. But you sleep on the floor. No way are you sharing my bed tonight, she declared firmly. He obeyed like a loyal hound. But soon, his voice drifted up again. Can we leave the lights on? 𝒊𝒏𝒈's face darkened as she suppressed her annoyance. Fine. But the persistent boy wasn't done with his requests yet. I'm still afraid. May I hold your hand? 𝒊𝒏𝒈 reached her limit, her brow furrowing with pure exasperation. She bolted upright. Enough. Are you trying to push your luck with me? You are becoming far too bold. He looked up with pitiful puppy eyes. Those eyes. They were her weakness. She sighed, surrendering to his charm. Fine, take it. She extended her hand, and he seized it instantly, gripping her fingers like a precious, stolen treasure. A dark, possessive glint flickered in his eyes. You reached out first, 𝒊𝒏𝒈. I'll never let you go now. Sunlight broke the dawn. 𝒊𝒏𝒈 awoke to an empty floor. The bedding was neatly folded, the boy nowhere seen. Where did that little rascal go? She hurried downstairs, her heart beating with a strange, lingering sense of curiosity. 𝒂𝒂𝒄 was waiting. You're awake. I've prepared a feast to start your day. Please, come and eat your fill. She stared at the lavish spread. Did you truly cook all this yourself? It looks far too professional for you. He pulled out her chair gracefully. Tell me what you crave, and I will master every dish for your pleasure. I'm not picky, she mumbled, taking a bite. But as the flavors exploded, her eyes widened in genuine silent shock. This is actually incredible. Taku bowed his head, apologizing for the chaos he had caused her the night before. At least you admit it, she teased. Am I not the kindest soul you've ever met for putting up with you? A truly good person wouldn't brag about it, he retorted playfully, removing his apron with a smirk on his lips. My ride is almost here. 𝑬𝒏𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 is coming to fetch me. Take your time with the meal, my dear. She waved him off, but suddenly, he leaned in close, his presence overwhelming her senses in a single heartbeat. I'll miss you terribly, he whispered into her ear, his voice laced with a dangerous, dark promise of return. He vanished, leaving her dazed and breathless. Outside, 𝑬𝒏𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 was waited like a silent beast in the morning light. What is the status between you and the CEO? 𝑬𝒏𝒂𝒄𝒌𔔴 asked, eyeing the young demon with deep, wary suspicion. Don't worry, brother, I know exactly how to play this game. 𝑬𝒏𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 sighed, feeling only slightly relieved by his words. If she truly fancies you, I won't stand in the way. But be careful not to get burned by her. She doesn't love me. Yet, Taku replied calmly, but the seeds of her destruction are already planted in her heart. A month later at the Ta Corporation, Lu Manman stormed through the halls, her eyes blazing with vengeful fury. What is Ta Chu playing at? He promised me that role. Men are all the same, liars and treacherous snakes. The deal was set for the legendary film, yet he betrayed me. This world will learn to fear my wrath. With trouble brewing, she soon arrived outside Ta Chu's office door and knocked 3 times. She entered with a fake smile, sitting boldly on his desk to seduce the CEO. You ignored my calls, so I came personally, she whined. He played completely dumb. She began touching him, pouting about the lead role she was promised in the movie. I prepared so hard for 𝑑𝒐𝒐𝒏𝒂𝒂𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔, reading the script endlessly for this. But my manager says I've been replaced. He frowned, acting shocked by the sudden news. They even agreed to pay my contract fee just to get rid of me. They have no respect for you. He patted her hand, pretending to offer her comfort. I'll call them to clarify everything. Just go home and wait for my news. She kissed his cheek and left. Immediately, he summoned his secretary into the office. What happened? I told them Marn gets the role. This slaps my face. The secretary replied calmly that the lead investor demanded it and added even more funds. The investor is Koso Tron. Ta Chu's eyes narrowed as he tapped the desk. Her again? That's a 𝑑𝒐𝒐𝒏𝒂𝒂𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔. How was she involved in this? She bought the entire company. She is now the majority shareholder, the secretary explained. Stunned, he ordered a meeting. Koso Tron arrived, her gaze colder than ice itself. You are quite the busy lady, Miss Ko, he sneered. She just looked away indifferently. Be brief, she commanded. He asked if she was behind Marn's sudden replacement. You broke the rules to put her in, so I broke them to kick her out. Ta Chu smoked, stunned by her direct confession. Her confidence was like a sharp blade. Why are you targeting her like this? He demanded, his voice filled with rising frustration. She laughed coldly. She bullied me for years. Did you think I was a saint? My heart isn't merciful to enemies, she declared, her demonic aura chilling the room's air. He tried to probe her true family background, but Sotron stood up to leave. If that's all, I'm going. She paused, reaching into her bag with a smirk. Before I leave, here is a small parting gift. Ta Chu stared at the desk. It was a USB. 1 week later, at a luxury hotel, Marn waited anxiously. Ta Chu had ghosted her for 7 days. He was clearly avoiding her every move. She finally cornered him outside. Why aren't you answering? What about my movie role? I need answers. What is going on? She was desperate to salvage her ruined career. He looked at her with pure disgust. Marn, we are over. Stay away. She froze in shock. Over? She grabbed his sleeve, tears blurring her heavy makeup. He shoved her away with enough force to send her crashing onto the hard ground. A new girl appeared, clinging to his arm. Let's go, honey, she whispered sweetly. Marn screamed curses at the traitorous man as she tried to chase his car. Why me? I did nothing. But Ta Chu's bodyguards blocked her path with cold efficiency. The boss never loved you. Stop living in a fantasy, the guard said heartlessly. She finally realized the truth. She was just a temporary tool for his selfish pleasure. He told me to give you this USB. The content will explain your downfall. Stay away from him forever, or the consequences will be much more severe. At home, the TV announced the latest entertainment news and the hottest celebrity interviews. They were interviewing the famous director, Dick Fung, about his massive upcoming blockbuster. Marn opened the USB. The scandalous photos inside made her world crumble instantly. Who leaked these? Who is trying to destroy me? She screamed into the empty house. On screen, the director announced the new superstar lead. It was none other than Ko So-tran. Why did director Fwang choose a total rookie like Ko So-tran for this lead role? During the interview, a hidden rival seethes with jealousy, eyes burning with dark resentment. That fame was meant for me. Lu Man vows to make her pay dearly. At the busy film set, Tuku arrives searching for his lady, the young mistress. She's resting in the lounge, the assistant whispers, pointing him toward the fateful room. Tuku knocks softly, but only a haunting silence greets him from behind the door. He steps inside the empty room, deciding to wait for the girl who changed his destiny. Suddenly, the lights flicker and die. An icy presence lurks within the creeping shadows. A rough hand strikes from the dark, and Tuku collapses into a forced slumber. My good person is missing? The system screams as So-tran's demonic aura flares. Tuku has been kidnapped. If he dies, her path to supreme glory will crumble. Who dares touch my property? She demands his location, her blood boiling with ancient rage. Warehouse 230. The thugs realize they snatched a man instead of the girl. The boss said the person in the lounge. How was I supposed to know? A fleet of black cars roars to a halt. Ko So-tran steps out like royalty. Break it down. One powerful kick shatters the heavy iron door into scrap metal. The kidnappers tremble as the Supreme Lady enters, her gaze colder than the grave. They surrender instantly. So-tran unties Tuku, her touch suddenly turning soft and protective. Who gave the order? She asks, her voice sending shivers down the criminals' spines. We don't know her. Everything was handled through untraceable phone calls, we swear. Call her now, So-tran commands. Tell her you've successfully captured the target. The thug obeys. I have the girl. It's time for you to pay up. A cold voice demands a photo. So-tran's eyes narrow, she recognizes that treacherous tone. The system confirms the traitor's identity. The mastermind behind this plot is finally revealed. Lu Man. The thugs beg for mercy, confessing they were just greedy pawns. So-tran scoffs. I'll pay you double what she offered to return the favor. Give her back every ounce of pain she intended for my man, she orders. Back at the hotel, a shaken Tuku refuses to let go of her hand. Are you that scared? She sighs, realizing the depth of his devotion to her. If you leave my side, who will protect you? You're far too soft-hearted. From this moment on, you belong to me. I am your only shield. I love you, Tuku confesses. Will you stay by my side forever? So-tran? Meanwhile, Lu Man flees in terror, her life's work turning into a nightmare. The vengeful thugs are closing in fast. That woman is worth a fortune. Catch her. She slams on the brakes, but there's no response. Karma has finally come to collect. Breaking news. The rising actress Lu Man has died in a horrific car crash. Tuku watches the report, stunned by the swift and brutal hand of fate. He rushes to So-tran's side, his voice trembling with 1,000 unspoken questions. She's dead. Did you have something to do with this, my queen? So-tran remains indifferent. The path to the top is paved with the fallen. I only ordered a lesson. Whatever happened next was her own twisted destiny. The assistant watches from afar, sensing the overwhelming power of their fated bond. Years pass like a dream. On New Year's Eve, fireworks celebrate their family's supreme rise. Wake up, sleepyhead, Tuku whispers, or I'll have to kiss you awake myself. So bold now? She laughs, finally embracing the glory she was born to hold. So-tran lazily refused to budge, despite Tuku's adorable pleading for her help. Eventually relenting, she let him embrace her as they celebrated a new year together. Seeking an official title, Tuku smiled when she coldly gave him her permission. 5 years later, at a prestigious award ceremony, the crowd waited in breathless silence. The Best Actor award at the 22nd Golden Dragon ceremony went to Tuku. He stood on stage, reflecting on a life of struggle and limited opportunities. Despite the sacrifices made for his dreams, he claimed to have zero regrets. Then he mentioned her, his hidden savior and the most precious dream of his life. On this legendary stage, he vowed to offer So-tran everything he ever owned. With the world watching, he proposed, and So-tran softly accepted his heart forever. Having completed her mission, she chose to stay in this world for her love. Their story ended like fine wine, but a new, darker chapter was already beginning. Gunfire shattered the silence as So-tran awakened in a brutal, apocalyptic nightmare. Looking outside, she saw a world overrun by the terrifying, mindless Walking Dead. Could this really be a zombie apocalypse? Suddenly, the king system appeared before her. The personified system offered to transfer her memories of this chaotic new reality. Sotran glared coldly, uninterested in the typical protocols of this mysterious system. This world required crystal cores, providing her with a specialized spatial storage pouch. When she claimed the item, the system panicked, explaining it was only a loan. Her murderous aura flared when it demanded 10 good person cards for ownership. After some intense haggling, the system trembled and surrendered the pouch to her. Her new identity was a tragic orphan student who once believed in high ideals. She had been betrayed by her supposed friend, Nin-U, during the initial outbreak. That betrayal was fueled by greed for a jade pendant Sotran always wore. That jade was the key to her identity as a powerful base commander's daughter. After surviving a bite, Sotran was locked away and experimented on until death. Sotran found the tale pathetic, prompting the system to justify her crucial intervention. Ready for vengeance, she suggested eliminating the traitor immediately to end the farce. The system protested, insisting she must reclaim the jade and ruin Ninhu's life. Instead of plotting, Sotran decided to sleep, much to the system's absolute shock. Despite being surrounded by zombies, she prioritized her rest over a frantic escape. She calmly closed her eyes, claiming that maintaining her health was the true priority. When the system panicked over the approaching horde, she simply told it to move. A new quest appeared. Spend 50 crystal cores within a strict 2-hour limit. Sotran wondered how she could possibly spend such a fortune in this wasteland. Suddenly, a group of armed survivors burst in, pointing guns at her defenseless face. The leader, Bao, warned her to stay still, sensing an unusual danger from her. His companion, Harthine, nervously urged him to fire before she could react. Sotran casually tossed out rare crystal cores, offering a trade that stunned them. They stared in disbelief, realizing these were high-level cores of immense, legendary value. They wondered how a lone girl could possess such treasures in this hellish world. Such wealth could allow their leader to ascend to a new level of power. Getting impatient, Sotran demanded to know if they were willing to trade. They offered their meager supplies of snacks and clothes, feeling suddenly very poor. Disdainful of their poverty, she traded the cores for their junk food like a queen. Thane trembles. Zombies. Bao smirks. The cores he absorbed yesterday fueled his power. Dictio spots the undead. Ambush! Move, now! They sprint for their lives. Veering left, death follows. Sotran arrives just in time. Safe. 100 cores drop. Guide me to Kanan. They gape. Us? We can barely protect ourselves, kid. Sotran sighs. I'm just spending money. I need a driver. And you're available. They're baffled. Is she insane? Only 3 survivors left, no other choice. Is she a fool? Or does she like our looks? Dictio laughs nervously. Meet the crew. Bao, the powerhouse, the only ability user in the squad. Next, Harthan, a human GPS. He remembers every city map in the country. And I'm Dictio. You? The girl answers coldly. Sotrank. Ding. System alert. A good person target nearby. Mission. Stop his corruption. Meet Luke Nian. The crowd is snarling. You were bitten. You're a monster. Trying to kill us all? Betrayal stings. Fear turns friends into vicious enemies. I was standing right next to him. Kill him before he turns. Panic flares. A bitten man is a ticking bomb. He'll eat us all. Get out. Leave now. Even those he saved turn their backs in fear. Nin-U fakes a sob. I can't help you. She chooses survival over him. The awakening rate is too low, they argue. He's a threat, not a hero. Keep him, and we're all dead. The mob's logic is cruel, but final. Tears fall as Ning-U whispers, Sorry, Luke Nian. I have to live. They spit insults in water. Crawl away and die, you rotting freak. Luke Nian laughs a hollow sound. Good luck, cowards. May we never meet again. System chirps. Target spotted. Move, sis. Sotran finally steps into the light. Do I know you? Luke Nian sneers. I've got nothing worth stealing, girl. I'm bitten. Still want me in your car? Sotran doesn't blink. Get in. Think I'll awaken some grand power? He mocks. Sotran just issues an order. Bao, knock him out. One swift strike. Luke Nian's world fought us to black. Is this a kidnapping? He mumbles. Dictio shudders. Get him away from me. My meat isn't tasty, don't bite, System warns. Be gentle with the target. Sotran scowls. Quiet. Scan his data. Luke Nian, the fallen school idol. No powers, just a hero's heart. He saved a teammate and got bitten. Betrayed and discarded. He was destined to be manipulated by a wicked woman. He would have given her everything, only to fall into a pit of darkness. A tragic villain in the making. But 𝑳𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒅𝒐𝒎 is rewriting the script. Darkening over a girl? Pathetic. He's my project now, 𝑳𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒅𝒐𝒎 declares. I've picked him up. Fate has changed. Suddenly, the target begins to stir. Sis, he's awake. 𝑳𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒅𝒐𝒎 remains cold. Good, get up. My shoulder's numb. 𝑙𝒉𝒐𝒐𝒏 rubs his head, blushing. Sorry. �Հ𝒐𝒏𝒈𝒅𝒐𝒏 checks his vitals. Feeling hungry? For humans? 𝑑𝒐𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 𝑙𝒉𝒐𝒐𝒏 smirks. Perhaps. Help, let me out. 𝒍𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 𝒉𝒐𝒐𝒏 chuckles. Just a joke, coward. You guys look so brave, I couldn't resist. He apologizes with a glint. How long since the bite? 28 hours. The car falls into heavy silence. Maybe he did awaken, 𝒍𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 𝒍𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻 just watches him closely. Why me? 𝒉𝒐𝒏𝒈𝒻 asks. Why save a man destined for the grave? 𝒍𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻 smiles, mysterious and sharp. Because. I'm a very good person. A heavy silence fills the car until 𝒍𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻 claims she's a saint. The crew roars in mockery. A saint in this hellscape? 𝒍𝒂𝒈𝒻 scoffs. 𝒍𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻 agrees. Kindness is a relic of the past. 𝒉𝒐𝒏𝒈𝒻 stares. You don't know me, yet you let me in. You're either brave or insane. Weren't you just a penniless, half-dead beggar? 𝒍𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻 counters, her gaze piercing his soul. 𝒉𝒐𝒏𝒈𝒻 sighs in gratitude. Suddenly the system pings. The spendthrift mission begins. Spend 500 million cores in 3 hours. The ultimate penalty for her saintly ego. Where's the nearest supply hub? 𝒍𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻 demands. Her eyes blaze with newfound demonic urgency. Heng'an base is 2 days away, 𝒍𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻 warns. 𝒍𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻 scowls. She needs a shop now. Find a closer outpost then, Bao steers. Hold on tight, we're going on a spending spree. They hit a shop 2 hours later. 𝒍𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻 slams the counter. Owner, get out here. An Dung demands cores. Huoc watches, intrigued by this mysterious girl's fiery aura. She's quite the catch, Huoc smirks. Dung snarls back. Survival first, women later, kid. 𝒍𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻 hurls a massive bag of cores down. Huoc freezes. That's a mountain of zombie kills. Do we have a deal? I don't have all day. 𝒍𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻's patience is razor thin. She points at his rifle. That gun, I'm buying it. Name your price. Dung stammers in shock. This? It's not worth a fraction of what you're offering. 𝒍𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻's glare sharpens. Just take the money. Dung nods. Throwing in rare ammo. A deal sealed in lead. 𝒍𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻 arms herself, radiating the cold grace of a queen. On the road, 𝒍𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒎𝒊 trembles, showing that much wealth. They'll hunt us down for sure. They won't dare, 𝒍𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻 replies coolly. Why? 𝒍𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒎𝒊 asks, his heart racing. Predators wait for a weakness. Suddenly, Bao yells, Zombies! To the car now. Panic erupts as the undead swarm. Go, drive like your life depends on it. The engine roars. 𝒍𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻 leans out, her rifle barking as lead shreds the rotting darkness. Moving targets, she mocks. The firepower is devastating. Is everyone still in one piece? 𝒍𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒎𝒊 gasps for air. Yeah. Then he screams. Look! On the window. A zombie clings to the glass, snarling. Bao speeds up, the car vibrating with mechanical rage. He slams the brakes and swerves. The monster is sent flying into the abyss. The shopkeeper is following us, 𝒍𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒎𝒊 warns. Is he coming for our heads? 𝒍𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻 reloads calmly. No. They're just fleeing the same nightmare we are. Those zombies. They're faster than before. The crew's terror reaches a fever pitch. They're evolving, 𝒍𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻 reveals. The news strikes them like a thunderbolt. They stop to rest. 𝒍𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻 grills, fish, her presence calm amidst the global chaos. Cores trigger evolution. 𝒍𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒎𝒊 asks, will they become like us, like humans? Not quite. Think of them as toddlers with a lethal hunger and sharp instincts. We can still outsmart them, Bao boasts. 𝒍𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻's eyes cloud with a dark, ancient warning, unless a zombie king appears. Bao chokes on his water. The name carries deathly weight. Sister 𝒍𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻. 𝒍𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻 yells. 𝒉𝒐𝒏𝒈𝒻. Something is very wrong. 𝒉𝒐𝒏𝒈𝒻 is convulsing. A terrifying heat radiates from his body. The demonic blood stirs. Was he bitten? Dung asks in horror. The group holds their breath in the heavy silence. He's awakening an ability, but this fever, it's high enough to melt a human brain. 𝒍𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻 checks his pulse. He's burning up. We need to cool him down instantly. If the heat doesn't break, he'll turn before the power manifests, Dung warns. This is the wall of evolution. Most die in the fire before they ever bloom. A fried brain means only one thing: a mindless monster. A zombie with divine powers. Sotron sighs. In this scorched world, even water is boiling. Where can we find ice? The answer was clear. An ice user was vital. My team lacked one, but a trade was possible. I'll provide a water user first. Sotron handed Dung the crystals, urging him to secure ice-type blood. Dung stared at the fortune, hesitating. These crystals mean nothing if the awakening fails, he thought. Could this save Luke Nin? That massive convoy ahead might have a user. I'll go scout them. Elsewhere, Nin-U admired her stolen necklace. Suddenly, Vice Captain Huok approached with a query from another unit. They seek an ice user, he said. Nin-U shook her head coldly. We only harbor water users here. Huok agreed, having already turned them away. Yet, an ice user's sudden demand usually signaled a desperate awakening. Perhaps someone was bitten, Nin-U mused. She turned to Huok, her eyes narrowing. Who leads them? A girl, Huok replied. I believe her name is So-Tran. At that name, Nin-U's heart stopped. Who did you say? Nin-U gasped. Huok repeated slowly, enunciating every syllable. A girl named So-Tran. Shock paralyzed Nin-U. Memories of her cold-blooded betrayal resurfaced. I only played nice for that pendant. I left her to rot among the zombies. I hid nothing, assuming she was already a corpse. But she lives, and her power is awakening. Huok noticed her pale face. Are you all right? Nin-U forced a calm mask. Just exhausted, she lied. How much longer until we reach Kan'an? Huok pulled her close, whispering reassurances. 6 days. But Nin-U's mind was already brewing lethal poison. So-Tran. Just you wait. Meanwhile, Luke Nin awoke, finding himself resting on So-Tran's lap. Why am I here, he wondered. So-Tran's cool hand touched his brow. The fever had spiked again. Dung and the others rushed in, hearing the stir. Their faces lit up. Luke Nin, you're finally back. You've been unconscious for 3 whole days. Tell us, what divine power have you awakened in slumber? Bao and his brothers crowded the tent. Do you feel a surging energy, an uncontrollable force within? Focus your mind, unleash it, Luke Nin tried, but his efforts yielded nothing but a hollow, crushing silence. Harharn whispered it might be a rare talent, but Luke Nin's eyes were clouded with deep anxiety. 𝑣𝒒𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 At least you aren't a zombie. I won't worry about you biting my neck. Luke Nin stood abruptly, his voice trembling. So-Tran, did you save me expecting some legendary power? I have nothing. I'm a failure. But So-Tran didn't flinch. Her gaze remained as cold as ice. Incorrect, she countered. I told you before. I simply wish to be a good person for you. Seizing the moment, Bao dragged his brothers out. We have business. Good luck, Lady So-Tran, they teased. Outside, 𝑣𝒒𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 She's clearly fallen for him. Why play the good person card? Just admit it, she's just shy, they laughed. Inside, So-Tran fumed. Her plan to remain a cold beauty was crumbling. She had to maintain her regal image. Turning to Luke Nin, she sighed. Ignore them. It's not true. Luke Nin looked away, blushing. I'm grateful, truly. But I must walk my own path. I won't stay. I've seen enough betrayal to last a lifetime. I cannot stay. So-Tran's voice turned sharp and icy. Her command was a frozen blade. Denied. Luke Nin recoiled. Our paths don't align. I'll repay you later. So-Tran remained unyielding. You go where I go. Her stubbornness left Luke Nin trapped and utterly bewildered. Are you taking me prisoner? He demanded. So-Tran leaned back, her presence overwhelming the small, cramped tent. I saved your life, so you belong to me. If my good person leaves, where will I go? Luke Nin challenged her. We aren't even friends. So-Tran stepped closer, her eyes flashing with hidden power. I am your shield. Here, you are safe from monsters and assassins. Food and wine are yours. What more could you want? But his temper flared. You're just keeping me in a gilded cage. Suddenly, the system chimed. New mission. Spend 10,000 crystals within the hour or face the penalty. The good person card was turning dark. So-Tran panicked. We must smile, she thought. Staying calm. Are you hungry? I'll bring a feast. But Luke Nin cut her off, his rage boiling over. Let me go, he roared. Despite his venom, So-Tran remained unnervingly polite. You're covered in sweat. So-Tran's kindness was met with pure venom. Luke Nin's roar of fury silenced her instantly. Unhand me, he spat. Yet, So-Tran remained unfazed, watching him with a chilling, demonic composure. Drenched in sweat, So-Tran ordered him to bathe. Luke Nin stood frozen, Water? In this wasteland? Every drop was liquid gold, yet she insisted. Faced with her iron will, he finally yielded. Suspicion gnawed at his soul. What was her true goal? Was he merely her kept plaything? He didn't realize that water cost a heavy price. It was a sacrifice of another's vitality. To compensate the exhausted user, a bag of crystals was offered. Hurry, absorb this power now. Supply her bathwater daily, Dung warned. With these crystals, your evolution is finally within reach. The sheer amount of wealth sparked pure ecstasy. Thank you, Brother Dung, he shouted in joy. Outside, Dung caught two women stealing their precious stash. Who gave you the right to touch this? Who do you think you are? They pointed at Luke Nian. He used two massive barrels. Why is he favored while we get nothing? Don't blame us for seeking survival too. Infuriated by the trouble, Dung slammed a pan into the boy's head. Silence, you arrogant fools. You dare compare yourselves to him? The woman sneered. What made him so special to them? Dung's brother tried to mediate. It's just water. Once his power recovers, we'll have plenty more. They are just girls wanting to be clean. Since he got a turn, why be so biased? The girl chimed in. Exactly. If a boy can shower, why are we being treated like outcasts? Dung remained firm. He paid with rare crystals. Can any of you match his incredible price? 1,000 crystals for a bath. Do you have that, boy, or are you just talking? The brother laughed awkwardly. Brother Dung, I suddenly don't think I need a bath anymore. Then shut up. None of you have the wealth to challenge the rules of this world. Luke Nian felt a crushing weight. She spent a fortune just for his comfort, a demonic debt. 7 days later, they reached Kanan base. Soldiers immediately blocked them with cold, hard steel. The gates are closed. Leave at once. Bao stepped forward, pleading for a place to stay. We must find shelter before dawn, he whispered. So Tran grabbed Luke Nian's hand, pulling him. Our deal is done. You are free to go. The escort's mission had finally reached its end. Luke Nian turned back, confused. I thought you were all traveling as one group? We were just hired help, Bao explained. But leaving her, it feels like losing a goddess. They retreated, leaving the pair alone. Luke Nian stood lost, unsure of what fate held next. Suddenly, the system chimed with a new mandate. A main quest that defied all logic. Spend 200 crystals in 1 hour. The absurdity made Sotran's demonic blood boil. She kicked a barricade aside in a flash of rage. Luke Nian trembled. What's wrong now? The escorts fled in terror. Run. Her wrath is coming. The next day, they reached the dorms. A mysterious figure entered the hall. The receptionist was too busy with her phone to notice. What do you want? She muttered. Sotran's voice was calm. I want the best villa. The girl laughed mockingly. A villa? It's the end of the world, not a luxury vacation. Do you want the moon too? Sotran tilted her head. Can you actually provide that? We have no villas. Stop wasting time. Sotran slammed a mountain of crystals onto the desk. The receptionist gasped, her heart stopping. Where did all this high-grade currency come from? Is there a villa now? The woman's attitude flipped instantly. Yes, one last unit remains. Luke Nian was baffled. She never killed a single zombie. Where did this endless wealth hide? Suddenly, a man approached with an arrogant air. Chu Tin, I need that villa right now. It's gone. This girl just paid for it. Hoke frowned, demanding the keys be handed over. Assign them another room. I am taking the villa, he commanded, ignoring Sotran entirely. But she paid for an entire year. 200 crystals. Hoke froze, his suspicion growing. They looked so young, yet held such vast riches. I will move you elsewhere, he insisted. As his interference grew, the air around Sotran turned cold. Her hidden power began to stir. Chu Tin reveals the man as Hoak, the base's high-ranking housing commander. Sotran's blood boils with irritation. She wants out, but Hoak sneers with authority. In this base, his word is law. Accept his terms, or be tossed away. Suddenly, a familiar shadow approaches. Captain Hoak, are you finished yet? It was Nin-U, the target of Sotran's burning desire for cold-blooded revenge. Their eyes lock. Hoke's demeanor softens instantly for this mysterious lady of status. Sotran doesn't flinch. I refuse, she declares, shattering the captain's arrogant expectations. Hoak laughs it off, claiming the last villa is already promised to another. Nin-U smirks, suggesting a high-stakes auction where the deepest pockets claim the prize. Sotran sighs at the drama. All she wanted was a place to sleep. Her inner system screams. 200 spirit cores, she states with icy calm. Nin-U gasps. Who would spend such a fortune for a month of shelter? Nin-U bids 300. So Tran's voice cuts through like a sharpened blade. 600. So Tran doubles the price without a single moment of hesitation. Nin-U scoffs, certain that this girl is bluffing about having such legendary resources. A heavy bag hits the floor. 600 cores. Count them, she demands. The onlookers are paralyzed. How did this girl amass a fortune that dwarfs everyone? Hoak's greed turns to curiosity. Do you possess a rare spatial storage ability? None of your business, she snaps, leaving her rivals drowning in their own poverty. With a flick of her wrist, she demands keys while the staff trembles. The clerk stammers, completely overwhelmed by the power radiating from this young girl. Luke Nian follows her, his mind racing. Where did this power come from? She stops, sensing his confusion. Do you need something? He is left speechless. Behind them, Hoak watches like a predator. Who is this girl with spatial arts? Night falls, and Luke Nian stares at the stars, his soul weighed with burdens. A maid approaches, whispering about how handsome the girl's new pet is. She thinks he's a kept man, bought with a mountain of spirit crystals. Luke Nian's gaze turns ice cold. What do you want? He demands from shadows. The maid sets food down, but her lingering gaze makes his skin crawl. Lady Sotran ordered me to watch you eat and then prepare your bath. His temper flares. Does she expect him to serve her like a common concubine? Tell her I am unwell, he growls, trying to maintain his crumbling composure. The maid trembles. But the lady was very specific about her instructions tonight. Where is she? Luke Nian roars, his patience snapping like a dry twig. He storms downstairs, kicking the bedroom door open with a thunderous crash. Sotran, what is the meaning of this? But the room is silent. He steps into the steam. There she stands, wrapped in a thin towel. Is this your plan? To lure me here and claim my body? Sotran blinks, genuinely confused by his sudden outburst of dramatic ego. Before she can speak, he pulls her close, eyes burning with intense passion. He claims her lips in a forceful kiss, catching her completely off guard. Suddenly, the world shifts. In a flash, she's back on her bed, breathless. Space-time manipulation? That weakling has been hiding a god-tier ability all along. He stole a kiss and fled. That cunning bastard played me for a fool. Her system giggles. Relax, little sister. Our mission is to spend wealth, not hearts. Losing everything is just the first step toward our legendary family glory. Reborn in the apocalypse, Sotran relaxed as the waiter approached her. Menus are a hassle. Just bring me the most expensive dish here. 100 nuclei? Fine. Make it 2 portions, she said casually. Sudden footsteps ahoot. It was Nin-U and her gong of hunters. A clumsy servant collided with Nin-U, splashing coffee everywhere in panic. Nin-U feigned kindness while rushing off, accidentally dropping a hidden item. The base manager quickly retrieved it, offering a polite word of thanks. Host, move now, the system urged. Don't let Nin-U take the lead. If I claim the jade pendant now, where is the fun in that? I don't just want to win, I want to destroy them completely. The system trembled in fear. This little demon girl was truly terrifying. At an Khan station, a helpless girl was being hunted like prey. She collapsed in tears while the villain's twisted laughter filled the air. As he reached out to grab her, she let out a desperate scream. He muffled her voice, but a stone suddenly shattered his arrogant face. Who dares? He roared. Above him stood the cold figure of Sotran. You're blocking my way, she declared, her voice dripping with icy indifference. The villain grinned. Delighted to find another beautiful girl to kidnap tonight. Don't you know how dangerous these dark tunnels are, little girl? He lunged forward, but Sotran was faster than the eye could see. With a sickening crack, she snapped his wrist as he screamed in agony. He swung a desperate punch, but she dodged it with ghostly grace. Silver wires flashed in the dark. It was time to end this. The leader fell dead. The remaining thugs stood paralyzed by pure horror. Silence, she commanded. The coward fled before the shadow of a demon. The system questioned her ruthlessness, but she simply shrugged it off coldly. What kind of power was that? The system asked, completely baffled. She ignored the machine. A supreme queen owes no one an explanation. The system wondered if it had underestimated her terrifying hidden bloodline awakening. Please, wait. The girl, Fwangdu, called out with trembling hope. Take me home and I will reward you. I am a minister's daughter. She had run away after an argument, only to find true nightmare. Stupidity is the greatest danger in this world, the system noted dryly. Monsters don't show mercy to children or girls who lose their way. Who are you? Fwangdu asked, desperate to repay her mysterious savior. But the coward returned, bringing a whole gang of bloodthirsty thugs back. Their boss stepped forward, seeking vengeance for his fallen comrade, Vuong Ni. Phuong Du cowered in fear, but So Tran only sighed in annoyance. "I was wrong," she said. The boss smirked, expecting her to beg. "I have a reputation to keep. Your life ends here for my brother. My mistake was leaving a witness alive. I should have killed you both." The thugs laughed, mocking her even as her demonic aura began to flare. System alert. Spend 100 crystal nuclei within 60 minutes. New mission. A dark plan formed. "Catch them," she whispered, her eyes glowing red. 10 crystal cores for the winner. Greed ignited as the thugs tore each other apart. Chaos was her weapon. So Tran watched the internal slaughter with cold indifference. Leaving the station, she turned to Phuong Du. "Is your father a man of power?" The girl nodded, stunned. "Good. Tell him to sweep up this trash immediately." Cleanup crews arrived instantly. The thugs thought they found an easy path to wealth. Instead, they found a trap. Their leader screamed curses, calling So Tran a coward. "I prefer the term efficient," she smirked. The man's pathetic rage only fueled her boredom. It was like watching a clown perform. Suddenly, a luxury sedan rolled to a stop. Minister Feng stepped out for his daughter. Teal Du collapsed into his arms, weeping for forgiveness. A father's love knows no bounds. He held her tight, his heart finally finding peace. "As long as you are safe," he whispered. The tender reunion was broken by a name. So Tran. "She saved my life, father." So Tran greeted the high official with regal poise. Gratitude filled the minister's eyes. "Let me escort you back, Lady So Tran." A free ride? She would not decline. After all, why walk when you can ride in style? From the shadows, Vice Captain Hook watched. His blood ran cold as he realized her connections. So Tran was untouchable now. She sat in the car, a predator among kings. Ding! The system's cold voice rang out. "Main quest. Sponsor the base with supplies in 10 days. A new trial began. "Minister, take me to the base gates, please." He warned of the zombie-infested wasteland outside. But So Tran's eyes held no fear of death. "Wait, system, do I use my own cores?" The king of losers appeared with a smirk. "Not this time, little sister. No handouts. You must scavenge for every single resource yourself. Complete the task, and the rewards will be legendary." So Tran stepped out, her path set in stone. There, she met the arrogant Nin U. The woman puffed her chest, trying to intimidate her. So Tran walked past like she was invisible. Nin U's pride shattered, her rage boiling over. Seeking revenge, Nin U joined a scouting team. Her manager pleaded with her to stay safe. "The path to City A is broken and dangerous." He begged her to wait for reinforcements. "I have powers," she scoffed. Delusion led her straight into the heart of the storm. At the mercenary guild, a massive crowd gathered. Word spread like wildfire through the ranks. An Bao and his crew stopped to investigate. "What is all this commotion about?" they wondered aloud. "A girl named So Tran is hiring. She promised cores for a mission to City A. She is either insane or incredibly rich." An Bao grinned, deciding to take the gamble. On the highway, the convoy raced toward destiny. So Tran led the charge into the unknown. Dung's gang lurked behind them like vultures. But So Tran's focus was on the horizon ahead. "Dung's men are causing chaos," An Bao reported. They took their captive and split from the group. "What about Luk Nian?" 𝑧𝒊𝒏𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔. "He ran," So Trank replied with chilling calmness. Shock filled the car at her words. But before they could speak, a shadow loomed ahead. "Stop the car! Zombie ahead!" A mutant horror blocked their path to survival. "Warning!" the system screamed. 500 meters ahead. "Your good person is in danger." A massive ice zombie towered over the road. Beneath its frozen feet lay a dying Luk Nian. Rage ignited in So Tran's veins. "Ram it," she commanded, her voice like cracking ice. The beast dodged, snarling at the puny humans. It did not realize it had just invited death. So Tran stepped out, her aura suffocating. The zombie launched a barrage of lethal ice shards. She brushed them aside like dust. Her deadly silks lashed out like demonic blades. With one strike, the monster exploded. A brilliant crimson core rolled across the asphalt. Evolution had begun. She turned, meeting their terrified, awe-stricken gazes. Bao and the others stood frozen, their minds completely blank. What kind of terrifying power was that? One flick of her wrist, and reality shattered. So Tran remained indifferent. "I have no special powers," she claimed coldly. But after that display, who could possibly believe her lies? Preoccupied, she nearly forgot Luk Nian was bleeding out on the dirt. Thankfully, her system, the king of prodigals, screamed a warning in her ear. The system was livid. This man was her good person card. If he died now, her entire path to glory would crumble into dust. Sotron clicked her tongue at the nagging voice. "Stop complaining," she muttered. "If his soul blackens, we're both doomed. Save him now." She dragged Luke Nien to the shade of a nearby tree. Soon he stirred, his body burning with a strange, unnatural fever. His eyes fluttered open, searching the void. Reality hit him like a physical blow. He bolted upright, his heart racing against his ribs. But confusion quickly turned into sharp, biting irritation. Who was the idiot who covered me in a thick blanket in this heat? He turned, glaring at the idiot sitting calmly beside him. There sat Sotron, leaning casually against the trunk. In that moment, Luke Nien felt a strange, unwanted flutter in his chest. She was always there when death knocked. A sharp pain stabbed through his skull, making him hiss. Rubbing his temples, he noticed something heavy on his arm. A sleek, mysterious watch was now strapped to his wrist. "Where did this come from?" he asked, his voice hoarse. Sotron didn't even bother to look up from the ground. "A gift," she replied with a lazy, arrogant shrug. "A gift?" Luke Nien's mind raced with suspicion. Why give him a luxury watch in the middle of a literal apocalypse? Then, he noticed something even more baffling. These weren't the clothes he was wearing before the fight. A cold sweat broke out across his neck as he looked down. Had she actually changed his clothes herself? "Who changed me?" he demanded, his face flushing crimson. Sotron remained unfazed by his outburst. "Maybe it was 𝑩𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔." She lied without blinking. Luke Nien shuddered, his mind reeling with dark possibilities. If she didn't know, who did? The mystery only deepened his growing, frantic frustration. "And the heavy blanket?" he pressed, gritting his teeth. "That was me," she answered bluntly. Luke Nien wanted to scream at the sheer absurdity of it all. She didn't change his clothes, but she tried to cook him alive? His blood boiled with rage. "What the hell were you thinking?" he snapped. Sotron blinked, her expression deadpan and robotic. "To keep you warm," she stated simply. As if heavy blankets were meant for anything else in her world. "It's 100 degrees out. Are you trying to kill me faster?" "You were cold earlier," she argued back, her logic impenetrable as stone. Luke Nien massaged his temples in utter defeat. Her excuses were pure nonsense, yet he couldn't stay angry. There was no time for bickering in this wasteland. Outside, the subordinates were frantic with excitement. "Miss Tran, we found a massive truck. It's loaded with weapons and high-grade emergency supplies. Everything was packed and ready for their departure." "Do we still head to City A?" they asked tentatively. "The evolved zombies there are legendary nightmares." "No need," Sotron commanded with absolute demonic authority. "We return to the base immediately." Her word was law, and no one dared to object. Luke Nien suddenly remembered the looming, evolved threat. "What about that monster zombie?" 𝑑𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 grinned. "Miss Sotron already erased it from existence." Luke Nien looked at her, his eyes narrowed in skepticism. "Humility is a virtue, you know." Sotron scoffed, her hidden bloodline flaring with pride. "I am this powerful. Why should I pretend otherwise? Humility? I don't have it, but I can fake it if it's necessary." The system, Bot Dawn, could only roll its virtual eyes. Meanwhile, Harthon worked tirelessly, moving crates. "Are there more of those evolved freaks?" he panted. Sotron's gaze turned cold and distant, sensing the future. "That wasn't the only one," she warned. "Count on it. More are coming for us." Luke Nien nodded, his face turning grave. "They'll evolve further. They'll learn to lead the entire horde. We were almost swallowed whole back there." Harthon wiped sweat from his brow, trembling. Heavens, how are we supposed to survive this nightmare? But Sotron had no patience for his fear. "Stay quiet and behave," she snapped at Luke Nien. "I didn't do anything," he protested, stepping closer. Then, he leaned in, his face inches from hers. Suddenly, he collapsed onto her shoulder, his strength vanishing. Was he acting spoiled? "Get off," she barked, but his body remained limp. 𝑑𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 watched the scene, his jaw dropping. "Miss Sotron, Luke Nien looks really strange," she frowned, looking at the man clinging to her. "What now?" He had fainted again, his energy completely depleted. Back at the villa, she hauled him into the bedroom. She dropped him onto the mattress with a heavy thud. As she turned to leave, his hand shot out like lightning. With surprising strength, he pulled her into a tight, desperate embrace. Even unconscious, he wouldn't let her go. "Luke Nien, wake up right now," she hissed. He only groaned, burying his face against her neck. "It hurts," he whispered, his voice trembling with pain. "Why are you in pain?" she muttered, confused. She tried to push him away, her heart cold as ice. Deal with it yourself. I'm not your savior. She flung his hand aside with a sharp motion. Suddenly, the mirror across the room shattered into 1,000 shards. A violent shiver ran down her spine. Was this his hidden demonic power awakening? Mental strength? No. This was something far more dangerous. He wasn't just thinking, he was manipulating the physical world. This felt like potential, the rarest ability in existence. Whether it was psychokinesis or pure, raw potential. He was an S-rank monster in the making. She turned to her system, Bat Dawn, in a silent rage. The original data said his power was lightning, extreme destructive force. So why has it changed so drastically? Bat Dawn quickly tried to pacify its terrifying host. Little sister, the data isn't a divine prophecy. One tiny ripple in time can change the entire ocean. The records were just a reference, not an absolute fate. Destiny was shifting before her very eyes. And Luke Nin was the epicenter of this coming storm. Beside her, Luke Nin was still whimpering in agony. In his delirium, he gripped her hand like a final lifeline. He was drowning in the depth of his own awakening. She tried to pull away, but the room suddenly went wild. Clocks, books, and pens began to hover in mid-air. The beast within him had finally woken up. Sparks fly as power surges uncontrollably. Is this an evolution or a total system collapse? ST grips his hand as he gasps. I have no power. The good man is fading fast. ST acts, producing a mysterious elixir. Can an awakened soul even process such divine medicine? No time to hesitate. Swallow it. ST forces the pill down, gambling with his very life. Midnight strikes and LN finally awakens. He's stunned to find himself in ST's private quarters. Sharing a blanket, he rested in her arms. Morning arrives with a thunderous commotion outside. The gates swing open for the massive convoy. Whose team is this? Look at those riches. Truck after truck follows, loaded with treasures. Their equipment is top tier. Their losses? Absolutely zero. Suddenly, guns are drawn by greedy soldiers. Minister Feng blocks the path with cold eyes. These goods are suspicious. Feng roars. The military seizes everything. Step out and surrender. We bled for this, Hawthorne fumes. But the enemy's numbers are overwhelming. What now? 𝑑𝒍𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 spits in rage at their audacity. The crowd whispers Feng's arrival means certain doom. Enough talk. Feng sneers with malice. Seize the cargo and throw these rebels in chains. Just then, ST arrives like a dark goddess. Who dares touch my people? You feel powerful? Feng's eyes narrow at the young girl. So, you're the little brat leading this band? I am, ST replies with chilling calm. Feng scoffs, mocking her arrogance before the crowd. You're insane, Feng laughs. You clearly slaughtered your own allies to steal this haul. ST demands proof of these comrades. Feng offers a fake mercy. Surrender everything or die. ST raises a hand, signaling a massacre. Feng pales, desperately trying to manipulate the team. This girl is a monster, Feng shrieks. Leave her now, and I'll share the spoils. A powerful voice thunders through the air. Who exactly are you calling heartless, Feng? Feng freezes as Minister Feng steps forward. Minister? What brings you to this gate? Feng points a trembling finger at ST. She's a criminal. Nin Yu warned me about her. Feng scans the scene with a frown. I see plenty of supplies. And even more greed. ST steps forward with a sharp smirk. Actually, these supplies are a gift to the base. Silence falls as the ministers stand frozen. A donation? This legendary haul, given for free? ST nods while internally cursing her system. If she doesn't donate, the penalty will be lethal. Feng's face lights up with pure joy. Then the base is saved. You are our hero. ST seizes the moment for cold revenge. Can I handle these liars who framed me personally? Of course. Feng agrees instantly. I won't let a benefactor suffer such blatant injustice. ST storms into Nin Yu's luxury villa. The fallen socialite trembles as the door shatters. Feng is dragged in like a beaten dog. Nin Yu panics, screaming that she's never seen him. ST looks at Feng with deadly intent. Bao delivers a blow. Speak, or lose your tongue. Broken. Feng confesses the entire foul plot. It was Nin Yu. She ordered the arrest. The base manager arrives, shielding the girl. Young Mistress Nin, are you harmed by these thugs? ST laughs, her demonic aura chilling the room. Mistress, you're serving a fraud. I'm the heir. ST points to the jade around Nin's neck. That's mine. Fetch a needle, let's test our blood. She turned her wrath on Minister Feng. Her strike landed like a hammer, demanding the truth. "Stop! I'll talk!" he wailed. "It was Nin-U. She ordered us to hunt you down." Nin-Hu's face twisted in panic. "Lies. This is a setup. You're all trying to frame me." Feng trembled, sticking to his story. Suddenly, the base manager appeared, rushing to Nin-U's defense. "Are you safe, young lady?" he asked. Nin-U smirked, her mask of arrogance returning instantly. "She is no lady of yours." So Tran's voice rang out. "I am the true bloodline heir." Horror gripped Nin-U's heart. So Tran glared at the jade. "That jewel was stolen from me. Test my blood," she commanded. "Let the DNA reveal the true mistress of this supreme family." Anxiety gripped Nin-U's heart. The manager's chilling tone confirmed her dread. The reckoning was finally here. The DNA report was a verdict of doom. Sotran's noble features were the undeniable truth. A catastrophic mistake had been made. The resemblance was clear as day. How could they mistake a commoner for the true bloodline? The real heiress had returned. Fury exploded as the manager slammed the table. Papers scattered like falling leaves. "Explain this deception, Nin-U," he roared. Nin-U's soul nearly left her body. She stammered, clinging to her web of lies. I knew nothing of this." The manager's gaze turned razor sharp. "You provided the samples yourself." The fraud's mask was shattering into pieces. She desperately shifted the blame. "Your laboratory must have failed." Even in defeat, her arrogance burned bright. "Why blame me for your own incompetence?" Sotran watched the pathetic display with icy eyes. Then, she gave a cold command. "Search her thoroughly. She's likely hiding my stolen hair even now." Sotran's patience had reached its limit. The thief's secret was finally dragged into the light. Evidence in hand, the manager bowed low. Justice was finally being served. "Forgive our blind ignorance, Lady Sotran. We have allowed a wolf to wear your crown." The apology was heavy with shame. Sotran remained an untouchable mountain of calm. "I don't care for your excuses," she thought. Fate was already back in her hands. She turned to the manager with a chilling gaze. "Can I leave this place now?" Her aura commanded absolute submission. "Please, let me escort you to your villa." "How should we dispose of the fake, my lady?" The manager groveled for mercy. Sotran's judgment was swift and merciless. "Banish her from the base immediately. A fake has no place in my world, and shave her head to mark her shame." The manager stood frozen by her ruthless command. A demon's vengeance was truly terrifying. News of the scandal spread like a wildfire. The battle for resources had become a legendary drama. The base was buzzing with excitement. "The true heiress is a literal saint. She gave us everything while the fake plotted." The tide of public opinion shifted. That fraud almost got the real lady killed. People like her are more dangerous than zombies. The base roared with righteous anger. Nin-U stood in the shadows, hearing every insult. Her heart twisted with a dark, burning resentment. This wasn't how her story should end. Suddenly, Captain Hawk collided with her in the crowd. Her hood fell, exposing her face to the world. Time seemed to stop in that moment. "Look, it's the shameless imposter." Fingers pointed as the crowd closed in. She was a pariah in her own kingdom. Hawk's companion gasped in pure disgust. "Captain, look, it's that wretched woman, Nin-U." The hero's eyes narrowed in disbelief. She pulled off her mask, eyes drowning in tears. "Hawk, please help me," she whispered. But his gaze held only cold disappointment. Overwhelmed by shame, she shielded her face. She couldn't let him see her fallen state. Like a ghost, she vanished into the dark. Hawk stood paralyzed as she fled. How did she fall so far from grace? The perfect girl was nothing but a lie. Meanwhile, Sotran's villa was a scene of luxury. Her subordinates were feasting like kings. Luke Nian watched them with a heavy heart. "Don't even think about running, Luke Nian. My brothers are watching every exit." Dung's laugh echoed through the halls. "Sotran treats you like a treasure. Just stay by her side and be obedient." The cage was made of pure gold. Luke Nian's frustration finally boiled over. "If you love it here, you stay. Why won't she just let me go?" "Lady Sotran has returned." The room fell silent as the queen entered. Her presence demanded every eye in the room. She tossed a bag of crystal shards to Dung. "Your payment for a job well done." Her generosity was as vast as her power. "Call us any time for such easy work." Soon, only Sotran and Luke Nian remained. The air grew thick with unspoken tension. "Why do you keep me trapped here? Is this some kind of twisted game to you?" Luke Nian demanded an answer. Sotran's mind was a storm of dark affection. Without a word, she claimed his lips. a kiss to silence his every doubt. "Stop trying to run, and I won't lock you up," she whispered against his skin like a curse. Luke Nian's heart hammered against his ribs. "Did you even ask for my permission?" Her eyes remained calm, like a deep abyss. "Do I really need to ask?" she countered. "I am a person, not your property." His defiance only made her gaze turn sharper. The hunter was closing in on her prey. "Fine. I'm asking you now. Can I kiss you?" Luke Nian could only nod in helpless surrender. "Yes, you can," he breathed. She pulled him into a deep, possessive embrace. Their world narrowed down to a single flame. Suddenly, a knock echoed at the door. "My lady, someone is here to see you." Sotron ignored the world outside her arms. "Can I do it again next time?" she teased. Luke Nian's face burned with a fiery blush. "Let go of me first," he pleaded. But her grip was as firm as her will. The knocking persisted, refusing to fade. "Promise me, and I'll let you breathe." "Fine. Yes, anything." He finally relented. Sotron finally stepped back with a smirk. "I'm coming," she called out to the manager. The predator was satisfied for now. "There's no rush, my lady. Take your time." Luke Nian turned away, his heart in chaos. "What are you looking at?" he hissed. Sotron coolly walks away, leaving Luke Nian red-faced as the manager desperately tries to intervene. "Miss Sotron, please return to the capital base. It's far too dangerous to stay out here. Our queen refuses to budge." The frantic manager begs Luke Nian to change her stubborn mind. Luke Nian simply shrugs, claiming he'd never dare interfere with her divine decisions. The manager is stunned. Left with no choice, they follow her lead. Our mysterious wealthy benefactor is playing the hero again. Suddenly, a loud knocking shatters Sotron's peaceful slumber. Someone truly has a death wish today. It's Harthan, looking pale. He's witnessed something strange and needs Sotron's legendary insight immediately. They huddle inside as Harthan reveals the horrifying truth about their last mission into the wastes. "The zombies. They're changing," he stammers. But Sotron remains cold as ice, completely unimpressed. "No, you don't understand. These monsters actually set a lethal trap. We barely escaped with our lives." Sotron rubs her eyes. "So the Walking Dead are finally starting to use their rotten brains?" Harthan wonders if zombies will eventually become as intelligent as humans. Sotron just smirks mockingly. "If they're only as smart as you, we have nothing to fear." She roasts him effortlessly. Ouch! Her words cut deeper than a blade. Still, the reality of their rapid evolution is terrifying. If they keep consuming survivors, will their IQ keep climbing? Sotron simply nods in cold realization. It was inevitable. In this world, those who don't evolve are just waiting to be devoured. A new system mission triggers. Time for our queen to establish her own supreme sanctuary, using endless soul cores. 14 months pass. The speed of the undead evolution has far surpassed humanity's wildest nightmares. These monsters have mastered cooperation and camouflage. Small outposts are being wiped off the map daily. Rumors spread like wildfire about a legendary paradise in the frozen north called 𝑬𝑬𝑮𝑃𝒊𝒅𝒂. I heard the rewards there are insane. But isn't the north a literal death zone of high-level zombies? Exactly. The monsters are actually fleeing the north because a much scarier predator has claimed that territory. Who is this mysterious supreme leader? The word on the street says her name is Sotron. She commands an army of elite warriors and possesses a mountain of high-grade spiritual soul cores. Survivors dream of reaching her gates, hoping for salvation under her absolute and iron-fisted rule. Meanwhile, Nin-U is seething. Everything she struggled to steal, Sotron treats like worthless garbage. "The boss wants you." A rival girl sneers, her eyes dripping with malice toward the falling star. Nin-U enters the room with a cold mask, only to find a trap waiting for her. "I treated you like family," the leader growls. "So why did you dare steal my precious cores?" It's a setup. The evidence is planted, and Nin-U's enemies watch her downfall with twisted delight. "Drag her away," the leader commands. In an instant, Nin-U's world descends into total darkness. They inject her with a paralyzing drug, mocking her previous arrogance while she lies helpless on the floor. But fate has a funny way of turning. Sotron appears, looking more like a goddess than ever. Beside her stands Luke Nian, now transformed into a powerful warrior who radiates an overwhelming aura. He stares down the cowards who once abandoned him, his gaze filled with cold, silent triumph. Sotron glances at the pathetic, broken Ning-U with total indifference. "Is she an acquaintance?" "Just an old classmate," Luke Nian replies coolly. "But we were never really that close anyway." With a flick of her wrist, Sotron leads him away, leaving their past enemies in the dust. Thanks for kicking me out back then, 𝑠𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻 scoffs. It was the best mistake you ever made. The crowd gasps. That wasn't just anyone, that was the legendary founder of the Supreme, 𝑳𝑬𝑮𝒃𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔. He's just a pretty boy living off her wealth. One bitter survivor mutters in fits of jealousy. Another scoffs back. You're just mad because you'll never be worthy of a queen like her. As they walk into the sunset, 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻 reflects on the burning hatred that once consumed his soul. 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻 listens in silence. The path to supreme glory is always paved with the bones of doubters. The age of the Supreme Queen has begun, and the world will finally know her true power. She wanted to end them, but 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻 held her back. It wasn't time yet. That night, 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻 drifted into a heavy sleep. Mumbling in her dreams, she threatened, 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻, escape and I'll snap your legs. He chuckled. Then I'm staying forever to save them. At dawn, 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻 woke to find 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻 inches away. What now? It's too early. Let a girl sleep in peace, will you? 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻 smirked. They say you're keeping me for my looks. If I don't seduce you, I'd be failing my scandalous reputation. 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻 sighed, patting him. Enough. Overdoing this is bad for your health. You'll exhaust yourself before the real fun begins. 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻 leaned in provocatively. My body is perfectly strong. Are you sure you're the one who can't keep up, 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻? Who says I can't? She barked. Suddenly, her vision blurred. She awoke in ancient silks. Another world, another life, another struggle. 𝑬𝒏𝒕𝒊𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔. How much longer must I endure these worlds? Her mechanical system flickered to life with a familiar, cold, digital chime. Little miss, collect 99 good person cards and you're free. 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻 groaned in frustration. And what is my current total? Only 8. Keep going, little miss. 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻 felt a wave of exhaustion. This mission was proving to be a true nightmare. The goal felt miles away. Why must I play the saint? Can't I just bankrupt this world and be done with it? 𝑬𝒏𝒕𝒊𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔 fidgeted nervously. But little miss, if the main quest fails, you'll be dragged back into the eternal void forever. 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻 smashed a chair against the door. Dragged back? Let them try. The system trembled. Please. Just accept the memories first. This body's father was a founding hero. The 𝒍𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒄𝒌𝒔 family held unparalleled glory until the emperor descended into a spiral of madness. Paranoia consumed the throne. The emperor sought immortality, becoming a puppet to corrupt officials and dark, twisted sorcery in the shadows. Honest advice was met with fury. 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻's father was literally hounded to death by the emperor's erratic and murderous cruelty. With her father gone, her stepmother, a former concubine, seized power. She turned 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻's noble life into a living, breathing nightmare. 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻 had a lover and a betrothal, a perfect match. But the emperor suddenly ordered a selection of new palace concubines. The stepmother schemed, swapping her own daughter's name for 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻's. 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻 desperately ran to her lover, seeking a single sanctuary. Instead of help, she found him in the arms of her younger sister. That betrayal stung far sharper than any poisoned blade. Forced into the palace, the emperor didn't desire her. He only wanted to humiliate the daughter of the hero he hated. Within weeks, she was discarded like trash. Broken by world whispers and family cruelty, she finally sought the embrace of death. But fate was cruel. She was pregnant. A child that could have saved her if the world wasn't a den of vipers. Her stepmother forced a poison down her throat to abort the child, framing her for a scandalous affair with a stranger. This bastard isn't royal, they screamed. To silence the truth, she was forced to drink the emperor's final cup of poisoned wine. Death wasn't enough. After her breath left her, her body was subjected to the whale whip torture. Pure, unadulterated imperial malice. 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻 looked in the mirror. What a pathetic fate. How do I counterattack? Can I just buy the throne with gold? Suddenly, a maid burst in, trembling. Miss, it's over. The stepmother put your name on the dreaded palace selection list. 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻 smirked coldly. So, the nightmare begins. The maid sobbed. The emperor is a monster, miss. People die instantly there. Even in death, she suffered the lash. 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻 gazed at her reflection, feeling the pity of her previous soul's end. Stop crying. Your wailing is giving me a massive headache. But the maid only cried harder, grieving their fallen noble status. We are like fallen leaves in a storm. You're being sent to the lion's den while the East Wing daughter gloats. 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻 sighed. I'm already annoyed. If you keep buzzing like a fly, I might actually lose my temper right now. Suddenly, the door was kicked open. Thanha, the stepsister's arrogant maid, tossed a pile of cheap clothes onto the floor. The Duchess sends her regards. Wear this when you crawl into the palace, Thanha sneered, her eyes full of venom. 𝑳𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒅𝒐𝒎 maid stood up. How dare you? Have you forgotten your place? Thanha laughed. My place? I'm the winner here. You little brat, you dare push me? Thanha raised her hand to strike, but 𝒊𝒏𝒈 moved like a shadow. Asterisk slap, asterisk, the sound echoed. 𝒊𝒏𝒈's hand left a burning mark on Thanha's face. The room fell into a deathly silence. Her own maid gasped in shock. 𝒊𝒏𝒈 turned, her eyes cold as a winter night. Watch closely and learn well. Next time someone insults you, this is how you handle it. She grabbed Thanha and hurled her out the door. The arrogant maid hit the dirt hard, groaning in pain. 𝒊𝒏𝒈 looked down at her. Get out of my sight. Thanha clutched her bruised face, screaming in agony. 𝒊𝒏𝒈's maid stood frozen, staring at her mistress in absolute disbelief. Miss, you, the maid stammered. 𝒊𝒏𝒈's gaze was sharp. Remember this, we don't bow to trash anymore. Do you understand? Thanha glared with murderous intent. 𝒊𝒏𝒈 didn't blink. She stepped forward, the air around her turning heavy with demonic pressure. 𝒊𝒏𝒈 stepped forward, throwing Thanha out. Scram! The maid crashed down, tailbone hitting the dirt as she shrieked in fury. In my face? You dare treat me this way? Do you still think you're the high and mighty lady of Chang Mansion? You're nothing now. 𝒊𝒏𝒈 locked eyes with her, cold as ice. So what? I am still that lady. Unexpectedly, Thanha recoiled in terror. 𝒊𝒏𝒈's gaze was sharp as a demonic blade as she spoke. It's not your turn to insult me. Thanha trembled violently, unable to utter a single word of defiance. 𝒊𝒏𝒈 hurled the laundry to the dirt. Wash them again, properly. She turned away with supreme, icy grace. Her maid whispered anxiously, My lady, let's head inside quickly. The winter air is far too cold for you. Only after 𝒊𝒏𝒈 vanished did Thanha finally breathe. What's happening? Why was I so terrified of her? The day of the palace visit arrived. 𝒊𝒏𝒈 woke early, meticulously preparing every detail of her royal look. From intricate hair to flawless makeup, she wore her most exquisite silks. She looked like a supreme, rising star. Looking in the mirror, she sighed. Being an ancient noble is such a hassle. Frustration flared within her soul. She slammed the table. Boom! The sudden sound echoed, making her maid jump in absolute, heart-racing terror. My lady, is the dress not to your liking? Lu Chao asked, her voice trembling with deep worry. Realizing she'd scared the girl, 𝒊𝒏𝒈 softened. No, it's beautiful. It's just a waste to stay inside. They headed to the bustling streets. Standing before Cam2 Pavilion, 𝒊𝒏𝒈 paused, her eyes gleaming with intent. Not bad. A perfect place to burn some serious cash. As they entered, the shopkeeper greeted them with fake warmth. Welcome, young lady. The owner bowed, but her eyes scanned 𝒊𝒏𝒈 with hidden, biting mockery. First time here? We usually don't host solo guests, but since we're free, feel free to browse our rags. Lu Chao's blood boiled at the insult. The owner's tone suggested they couldn't afford a single thread here. Behind that fake smile was pure condescension. 𝒊𝒏𝒈 ignored the venom and began browsing the expensive silks. Are these expensive? The owner smirked arrogantly. Of course. Our fabrics are rare and the designs are legendary. In this capital, wearing a Cam2 gown is the ultimate status symbol for any true noble lady. I see. Very well. 𝒊𝒏𝒈 casually pointed to a row of the shop's most dazzling, expensive robes. How much for all of these? Lu Chao panicked and whispered, My lady, these are far too big for you. 𝒊𝒏𝒈 smirked with supreme confidence. Then I'll just use them as floor rags. The ultimate queenly flex. System, Prodigal King, mission complete. 50 gold coins reward has been added to your royal account. The owner packed the clothes, sneering inwardly. Hold these tight, dear. Don't want to drop such treasures. She laughed mockingly, thinking 𝒊𝒏𝒈 was just playing pretend. Since you have so much gold, why not check out the second floor? But 𝒊𝒏𝒈 had no intention of wasting more time there. She turned to leave, but the prodigal system wouldn't have it. Lady, how can you let her look down on us? We have unlimited wealth. We must buy everything. The system refused to let the merchant's insult stand. New main quest. Buy the entire Cam2 Pavilion. 𝒊𝒏𝒈 stopped dead in her tracks, her aura shifting. She took a deep, steadying breath, suppressing the demonic annoyance rising from the depths of her soul. Rage finally flared in her eyes. She spun around and shouted, Bring your master! I'm buying this entire shop! Across the street, at a local tavern, a rowdy crowd had gathered to mock a lone, silent man. He was strikingly handsome, yet his eyes were hollow and lifeless. This was the disgraced Prince 𝑦𝒍𝒂𝒄𝒌. Prince Tong, barely 16 and brimming with arrogance, sneered at his elder brother from his high seat. Sixth brother. My apologies for the wait. I completely forgot you were still down there in the dirt. 𝑬𝒏𝒕𝒊𝒂𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔. Yen Kui stood silently, ignoring the cruel taunt. It is nothing. His calm only fueled Tong's growing hatred. Such an arrogant attitude. Fine then, walk home yourself. I won't be giving a royal carriage ride to you. As you wish. 𝑬𝒏𝒂𝒔 turned to leave, but Tong's eyes flashed with a sudden petty malice. As 𝑬𝒏𝒂𝒔 passed, Tong stepped out, stomping heavily onto 𝑬𝒏𝒂𝒔's pristine white boots to trip him. 𝑬𝒏𝒂𝒔 crashed to the floor, unable to react. The onlookers whispered, he's still a prince, yet so humiliated. This bully was the emperor's 8th brother, Prince Tong, a royal known for his heartless, ruthless cruelty. Despite his bleeding palms, 𝑬𝒏𝒂𝒔 didn't make a sound. But Tong wasn't finished with his sadistic fun. He ground his heel into 𝑬𝒏𝒂𝒔's wounded hand. Brother, you really must watch your step more carefully. Why not let father find you a wife? The prince sneered. A cold man like you needs a keeper. 𝑬𝒏𝒂𝒔's gaze remained ice-cold as he rejected the mockery. Tong Vung's face twisted in fake disappointment. How dull, the prince muttered, his mind spinning with new ways to torture his brother. Fine then, since you love me so much, stay here. He laughed maniacally, his followers trailing behind like dogs. Alone in the silence, 𝑬𝒏𝒂𝒔 stood. His eyes were hollow, masking a storm of hidden resentment. Suddenly, a hand touched his shoulder. A stranger stood there, chewing food while staring with intense curiosity. You all right, kid? The stranger asked. 𝑬𝒏𝒂𝒔 gave a stiff nod, but the shadow wouldn't leave. Wait, your aura is tainted with death, the man shouted. A great calamity is stalking your footsteps. Nearby, 𝑳𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒅𝒐𝒎 watched the scene unfold. Beside her, Luke Chao remained quiet as the tension escalated. Listen to his nonsense, 𝑳𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒅𝒐𝒎 whispered. Suddenly, a digital chime echoed in her mind. The system. New quest. Obtain a good person card from 𝑬𝒏𝒂𝒔. Objective. Prevent the villain's dark awakening immediately. 𝑬𝒏𝒂𝒔. A name etched in blood, 𝑳𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻 mused. Can I really stop his descent into madness? He was a prince of nothing. No title, no home, discarded like trash in the palace's coldest corner. His mother was a lowly servant, crushed under the heel of the woman who now ruled as empress. Born from a royal mistake, 𝑬𝒏𝒂𝒔 was the son the emperor chose to forget. A nameless ghost. But the empress didn't forget. Nor did her son. They enjoyed tormenting the boy with every waking breath. Cruelty planted seeds of vengeance in his heart. Beneath that silent mask, a demonic rage began to fester. He plotted blood. He sought to kill the emperor, but the coup collapsed in a sea of betrayal. Dyrpdung's blade claimed his arm, but it couldn't claim his life. The fallen prince vanished into shadows. He emerged as a monster, a dark lord who painted the world in flames and took everything by force. Rivers of blood followed his path. 𝑳𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒅𝒐𝒎 sighed. What a tragic fate, for such a beautiful soul. Darkness fell as 𝑳𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒅𝒐𝒎 returned. She had spent the day shopping, unaware of the trap awaiting her. 2 vultures waited in the hall. The older woman's voice pierced the air, sharp as a rusted blade. You dare come back now? She shrieked. Where have you been hiding, you worthless, unfilial little brat? Probably crawled out of some gutter, the younger one sneered. 𝑳𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻 blinked. And who are these people? System alert. That is 𝒃𝒊𝒂𝒑. She destroyed the original host. Your mission? Total and absolute revenge. Living the good life, 𝒳𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻? 𝒃𝒊𝒂𝒑 barked. How dare you lay a finger on my servant? Suddenly, her words died in her throat. Her eyes widened as she scanned 𝒳𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻's exquisite silk robes. Come Tu Fung's latest collection? She gasped. How can a piece of trash like you afford such luxury? She pointed a trembling finger. Tell me, where did you steal these clothes from? Answer me right now. 𝒳𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻 shrugged indifferently. Why does it matter to you? 𝒃𝒊𝒂𝒑's face turned a violent shade of red. What did you sell to buy this? She screamed. Whose bed did you crawl into for these rags? 𝒳𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻's inner demon started to roar. You're so loud, she thought. Maybe I should just end you. 𝒃𝒊𝒂𝒑 lunged, her hand raised to strike. I'll teach you your place in this manner, you peasant. Her sharp nails aimed straight for 𝒳𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻's face. A classic move from a low-tier villain. How boring. Asterisk. Thud. Asterisk. 𝒳𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻's foot met 𝒃𝒊𝒂𝒑's stomach with crushing force, sending the girl flying across the room. Tiu, the mother screamed in horror. Servants scrambled to help the girl as she writhed in pain. Mother, it hurts, she wailed like a child. 𝒳𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻 simply walked over and sat down, completely unfazed. You monster, the mother hissed. How dare you strike your sister and ignore your elders? Stand up. The prince should have drowned you at birth, she cursed. 𝒳𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻 didn't blink. She just stood up. Under their confused stares, 𝒳𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒻 reached for a heavy wooden staff. Her eyes glinted with cold malice. What are you doing with that? they stammered, backing away. Put that stick down this instant, you lunatic. 𝑳𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒅𝒐𝒎 didn't waste words. She swung the heavy wood, the air whistling as she unleashed her fury. Panic erupted as she lunged. Guards! Stop this madwoman, they cried, but their voices were filled with terror. Even the soldiers couldn't contain 𝑳𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒅𝒐𝒎's boiling rage. She became a whirlwind of destruction, striking down everyone. Trinh and the royal consort lay broken. 𝑳𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒅𝒐𝒎 finally stops when their faces are unrecognizable, eyes filled with terror. They realize she is truly a monster. She coldly orders their immediate disposal. Mourning at the manor. An exorcism begins amidst ritual smoke and heavy incense. The stage is set. Talismans cover the walls like autumn leaves. From the gates, a fake priest's chanting echoes through mist. He screams incantations to the heavens. Servants gather in fear, whispering about the sudden demonic presence. The fraud puts on a pathetic performance, but a cold, mocking voice pierces through his deceitful act. 𝑳𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒅𝒐𝒎 laughs, calling his ritual a cheap circus. The priest's heart skips a beat in pure panic. Trinh demands to know why the demon is unaffected. The sweating priest desperately invents a lie. He claims a cunning evil spirit has possessed her body. To save face, he clears the courtyard. The family retreats, leaving the exorcist to his work. Once alone, the fraud finally drops his mask. After checking the coast is clear, he turns to 𝑳𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒅𝒐𝒎. I'm just a poor scammer, he whines. Why ruin my business by revealing your true power? 𝑳𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒅𝒐𝒎 is intrigued by his sharp intuition. She wonders how a fraud saw through her disguise. The man strokes his beard, eyes gleaming wisely. He reveals he was once the king's seer. Today, I see your fate is truly terrifying, he whispers. 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒅𝒏𝒄 invites him to sit, curious why a master would live as a lowly con artist. Real power leads to a cage in the palace, he sighs. Scamming is the only way to live. Seeing his greed, 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒏𝒄 offers 500 silver taels. A dangerous deal for a dangerous task. The priest's eyes glow with avarice. But hearing the plan, his face turns deathly pale with fear. 500 isn't enough for such a sin, he stammers. 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒏𝒄 stares him down, completely unfazed. Sensing a golden opportunity, he demands 1,000 taels. He thinks he has the upper hand. To 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒏𝒄, money is just paper. She agrees instantly, sealing their dark pact with a cold smile. You are truly a villainess, the priest mutters, even as he clutches the promise of forbidden gold. The trap is set. 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒏𝒄 knows the unfaithful lovers are heading toward their own public ruin. Spring blooms, but the air carries a scent of betrayal. 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒏𝒄 heads to the outskirts alone. Her maid is confused by the silence. Nearby, young Master Diep and Trinh share a tryst. They whisper sweet vows under the spring sky, unaware of the predator watching from the shadows. The maid trembles, fearing her mistress's heartbreak. Master Diep would never betray you, she lies poorly. 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒏𝒄 watches with the boredom of a goddess. I have no claim on that trash, she scoffs. To her, the marriage contract is a worthless shackle. Let the scum rot together in the dirt. Before the lovers can embrace, a squad of guards storms their nest. The secret is out. Panicked, the couple flees like rats. 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒏𝒄 smiles, the performance was worth every single silver coin. She rewards her actors in secret, ensuring the scandal spreads like wildfire through the entire capital. Later, at the pavilion, the air turns sour with the gossip of jealous and petty noble ladies. They sneer at 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒏𝒄's fallen status, forgetting who once stood at the peak of this world. How arrogant, they whisper. Does she think she is still the king's precious, untouchable jewel? 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒏𝒄 ignores the flies until one dares to block her path, grabbing her silk sleeve roughly. A cold chill fills the air. Such a slender wrist. 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒏𝒄 whispers, her demonic eyes darkening. It would be a shame if it snapped like a twig. With a flick, the bully falls. The demonic blood within her begins to stir. The hunt for her family's lost glory has begun. No one will stand in her way. The era of the supreme demon daughter is finally here. Her enemies will tremble as she rises. The ruined family will soon sit upon a throne. The scent of blood and power follows her. A new legend is being written in the capital. Those who mocked her will beg for mercy. But 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒏𝒄 has no mercy left to give. The bloodline has awakened at last. The world will learn the true meaning of demonic terror. Step by step, she claims her vengeance. The rise to supreme glory is now inevitable. The rest of the mob trembled in fear, clearing a path for her. Yet, that arrogant young mistress shrieked at the top of her lungs, pointing at 𝒐𝒐. Stop! Your father is dead now, so what are you? How dare you strike me? I will make you suffer for this today. Tired of the buzzing fly, 𝒊𝒏𝒈𝒏𝒄 turned with a murderous gaze. Make me suffer? And how exactly? The commotion alerted the entire street. Passersby gathered like vultures, whispering about the fallen noble's sudden defiance. So Tran looked down like a cold goddess judging a peasant. The girl continued her pathetic, loud rant. From now on, you must crawl around us. Understood? So Tran smirked coldly. Walk around you say. The girl boasted that if they were at the pavilion, Sotron was forbidden from even entering its shadow. Suddenly, the system flickered to life. New mission. Purchase the 𝑳𝑬𝑮𝑵𝒊𝒂𝒂𝒔𝒎𝒊𝒕𝒉'𝒔 immediately. A divine opportunity. That noisy bird's insults were the final straw. Sotran's hidden demonic blood boiled with newfound, icy rage. Ignoring the fools, she prioritized the mission. Sotran calmly summoned the manager, who was hiding nearby. The manager was hesitant, caught between feuding noble daughters. One wrong move could mean his head would roll. He bowed to the highest status. Suddenly, Sotran declared, I am buying this entire establishment right now. Silence fell over the crowd. The manager stammered, This place is not for sale. Vong An laughed mockingly. This pavilion earns a mountain of gold daily. Do you think a ruined girl like you can afford it? Without a word, Sotran slammed a massive banknote down. When he hesitated, she simply added another one. She kept stacking the wealth with total indifference. The spectators gasped, their curiosity turning into pure shock. The king is dead. How does Trin Sotran still have this much gold? Is she losing her mind? The other ladies whispered in fear. Vong An went pale, unable to comprehend the sheer scale of the fortune. Where did she get this? That stack of notes was enough to buy 3 such pavilions without blinking. The manager pleaded that it was his ancestral legacy. He claimed money could never buy his family's pride. Sotran ignored his protests, increasing the price further. I will own it, but you will remain manager. Keep all the profits. I only want the title of owner. It was an offer from the heavens. Greed won instantly. He barked at his servants to bring the chests. Sotran was now the true master. Sotran looked at the stunned mistress. Now, it is you who must walk around me, little bird. You are truly insane. Vang An shrieked in terror. Sotran simply replied with a chilling, elegant smile. I have the gold. She ordered the manager to ban these pests from the premises for all eternity. The trio fled in humiliation. The manager trembled, fearing the royal family might strike back at the pavilion. The Trin family had no backing left. Yet, Sotran didn't care about their hollow threats or royal blood. If they break it, I'll just rebuild. The legend of the Supreme Family begins. That is all for today. Smash that like button for more epic manhwa recaps. Thank you and see you in the next chapter.